Chapter 26. City Z Laboratory. Seeing the door open, the beautiful Mosquito Girl saw Tao Qian and immediately left the laboratory table and greeted him with a charming smile. Master, you are back. I want to eat delicious food tonight. She saw Genos coming in with Tao Qian and swallowed her words. Dr. Genos, when did you come? Did you and the master? Her eyes swung between the two of them, and a trace of suspicion appeared on her face. You are Erica? You, what? Genos looked at the Mosquito Girl and asked uncertainly. The Mosquito Girl smiled and clenched the folder in her hand. Are you wondering how I recovered my human form? She looked at Tao Qian, her eyes full of admiration. All this is the master's gift. Ahem. Tao Qian interrupted their reminiscence. Since we are all acquaintances, there is no need to introduce ourselves. Your original name is Erica, right? You can show the doctor around the lab and the projects that are currently underway. It's embarrassing to say that Erica has been employed for a few days and has ridden a rocket before, but Tao Qian doesn't even know her name. It doesn't matter anyway. Yes, master. Dr. Genos, please follow me this way. Mosquito Girl Erica brought Genos to the lab. When the two came out again, Genos still had a serious look on his face. Dr. Tao, I thought you were really focused on developing human potential. He looked a little unfriendly. But I didn't expect that you were studying monsters like me. This makes me suspect that your power was also obtained through studying monsters. I have to say, this is very disappointing. Tao Qian ignored his little complaint. Instead, he just quietly flipped through the experimental records. Advertisement, how is the longevity potion? He asked lightly. Erica's face straightened, and she immediately put away her charm. Master, I will continue to experiment with the regeneration ability of the insect god according to your original plan. The drug has been iterated to the 3rd generation. Experiments on mice show that it can effectively maintain the health of organisms, and the cell state shows that the mice injected with the longevity drug have all shown the characteristics of secondary development without exception. The main parts of development are concentrated in the head, brain, and limbs. Tao Qian nodded. This female monster is not just a bedding. At least the doctor of biology in her self-introduction is real. Although her brain was damaged a lot when she became a monster, it also happened to remove the moral restrictions related to humans. Although she doesn't have any fancy ideas, she does things in a methodical way. In short, it can be used and is very smooth. If necessary, you can contact the Hero Association and ask them to provide materials for human experiments. Tao Qian said lightly. The longevity drug project is the most concerned project for many old rich people. Although as far as Tao Qian knows, his laboratory is not the only one conducting related research. But overall, it is his laboratory, which is a fake, that has made the most gratifying progress. Originally, he only intended to extend the lifespan of cells to help people break through the lifespan limit. But as the research continued, it was found that the lifespan of monster cells was not longer than that of humans. It's just that the Hayflick limit of human cells is 40 to 60 times. Monster cells are similar to cancer cells and can divide almost infinitely. Therefore, from a certain scientific perspective, monsterization can also be called disease and mutation. In short, after a series of professional research with the help of entries, Tao Qian successfully analyzed a substance that seemed to be harmless from monster cells. Well, it's just that the production process is bloody. After all, it's for science. Tao Qian turned his head and looked at Dr. Genos. What you just said is wrong. I am not a crazy scientist like you before, who will do anything to achieve evolution. Advertisement, everything I do is for the future of mankind. Tisk, I used to think so too. Genos mocked. Hee. Tao Qian smiled lightly. But your so-called research, gene editing, is not so much evolution as it is the use of technology to promote mutation. For example, Ms. Erica who assisted you in the experiment. He pointed at Mosquito Girl, who immediately responded with a sweet smile. You simply merged human genes with those of other animals, plants, and insects. But you call it evolution. What a joke. We humans are the final winners of the entire natural world after countless natural eliminations. In our DNA, there are already countless redundant gene fragments from other organisms. Those ancient genes are of no use at all. Why do you think that the genes of modern animals and plants are effective for us? Excuse me, Dr. Genos, if it is really possible to create a new human in that way, at present, our roles should at least be reversed. This speech made Genos silent for a long time. He was a little unconvinced at first, But as he thought about it and everything he had experienced before, he had to admit it. Dr. Tao, I admit that what you said makes sense, but I still have reservations about my project. Genos stiffened his neck. No matter whether he admitted it in his heart or not, he would never surrender completely. Whatever you want. Tao Qian shrugged and put the topic aside. Then, Dr. Genos, as your future employer, I will make the following arrangements for you for the time being. First, please cooperate with Ms. Erica's work temporarily and assist in the research and development of longevity/evolution medicine. This is the laboratory's fifth project in the future and cannot be lost. When the Mosquito Girl heard that she could ride on Genos' head, she immediately smiled. And Genos, on the other hand, rarely raised any objections, as if he had tacitly accepted his position in the laboratory. Only Tao Qian's eyes were playful. Has the hostility value increased from 18 to 25? It seems that this assistant is still a little dissatisfied, but he did not show any clues, but just stretched out his hand again and shook hands with Genos. Dr. Genos, let us work together for the true evolution of mankind. Chapter 27. In the next few days, in addition to going out to sweep monsters, Tao Qian mainly focused on research. He is still a scientist after all. On the experimental table, several volunteers sent by the Hero Association or the Foundation are waiting for the injection of longevity/evolution potions. Evolution and longevity are the eternal dreams of mankind. But for a long time, humans have been restricted by the Hayflick limit. Until the appearance of monsters. Although the reasons for the mutation of monsters are strange, some are even very abstract. But long-term research has shown that monsters have actually broken through certain restrictions that bind humans. It's just that this breakthrough cannot be actively controlled by people, and monsterized humans are often full of various violent desires. Therefore, until now, most of the capture and research related to monsters have only remained at the viewing attribute and collection attribute. Until Tao Qian came through. He was surprised to find that the monster cells, whose entries he had plundered, had almost no pollution and uncertainty. Based on this principle, he continued to study and found that the pollution in monster cells can also be filtered through various scientific means. It's just very dangerous, because turning the experimental subjects into monsters will lead to many unpredictable consequences. This is also the fundamental reason why Genos is almost the only one in the world that has made certain progress. Now, Genos has officially joined the laboratory. It's time to open a new chapter in human evolution. Tao Qian is full of confidence, full of talent like endless falling trees. After a while, Erica climbed up on tiptoe, her neck moved, and then she tidied her clothes and went back to work with her slender waist. But then, there was a quarrel at the door outside. Who are you? What are you doing in Dr. Tao's laboratory? Fubuki's slightly cold voice came from outside. Tao Qian went out to take a look. After not seeing her for a few days, Fubuki has become much more fashionable. She is nearly 1.7 meters tall, wearing a precious fur coat, with huge pearl jewelry on her slender neck, and even rings on the 10 fingers of both hands. She looks like a nouveau riche that Tao Qian has seen. At this moment, Fubuki stared at the gorgeous Erica in front of her with full vigilance. Advertisement, her mouth was like a machine gun, and it kept firing. You said you are Dr. Tao's employee? Why didn't I see you last time? Also, this truck of goods was requested by Dr. Tao himself. How can you put it wherever you say? Is Dr. Tao here? I want to see him. Erica opposite her did not give in at all. As the life assistant, personal secretary, and chief experimenter of Dr. Tao, this lady, I have the second-ranking authority in the laboratory. I can handle the transaction between you and the doctor. Please don't shout here and disturb the doctor's rest. 2 women, 1 show. 3 women equal 100 ducks. The originally quiet laboratory now seemed to have dozens of ducks in, chirping and noisy. Even Genos, who had been monitoring the state of the insect god, poked his head out to enjoy the scene he had not seen for decades. He was still muttering, fight her, grab her hair, tear her clothes, and even better, destroy the entire lab. Tao Qian. He had already vaguely seen that the corner of Fubuki's clothes floated out of thin air, and Erica's hands were also slightly bulging, as if a sharp blade would pierce out of them in the next moment. Enough. He shouted to stop the impending fight. Researcher Erica, Miss Fubuki is an important partner of our laboratory. You must show some respect to her. Erica responded with a lowered eyebrow. As a dependent, she could not refuse any request from Tao Qian. Even if she was asked to commit suicide immediately, she would do it without hesitation. Cluck, cluck. Fubuki was like a hen that had just won a battle. When she looked at Tao Qian again, A look of surprise flashed across her face, followed by a series of brilliant colors. How can there be such a handsome man in the world? At this time, without Tornado by her side, Fubuki was no longer careful and looked at Tao Qian carefully, becoming more and more fascinated the more she looked. The cat's elegance that Tao Qian got from Meow Meow, plus the increasing temperament of a superior and researcher, combined together. In addition, he was also a senior consultant of the British Association and the honorary chief scientist of many consortiums. It was perfect in line with any expectation in Fubuki's heart. But she didn't come here just to see the handsome guy. After a while, he stammered, "Dr. Tao, I feel my skin is a little dry recently." Advertisement. Tao Qian understood immediately. She came to ask for medicine. It seems that after a few days of psychological construction, she no longer cares about eating weird blood. Beauty and improving strength are the top priorities. You came at the right time. Our laboratory has just launched a new product. Do you want to take a look? What? Take a look? Don't worry, it's not a bloody experiment of a weirdo, but an experiment on the effect of health products. Back to the laboratory. The light green medicine disappeared into the body of the old man on the stage bit by bit. The loose skin on his face began to tremble slightly, and soon, it was like water waves, wriggling and trembling. And deep inside his body, a more wonderful change was happening fiercely. The gene chromosomes in the cell nucleus collapsed and were rapidly reorganized under the action of the drug. Some of the excess waste, like a pile of shit, was obviously excluded in this rapid reorganization and even slowly melted away. Dr. Genos controlled the test bench and slowly immersed the old man in the nutrient solution to continuously provide nutrients for the mutations in his body. The old man's body seemed to be experiencing a war. His skin was constantly rolling, but in this constant rolling, it shrank, became smaller, and became smooth and tender. Time passed quickly, and Fubuki opened her mouth unconsciously because of surprise, and could not close it for a long time. God knows what she saw. Regain youth. Even when this old man came out of the nutrient solution, the speed of recovery began to slow down and even began to regress. But when everything calmed down, he still changed from an old man who had difficulty walking to a young old man who looked at most 50 or 60 years old. Even as time continued to pass, he was still slowly changing back to his original state. But this was enough to shock this big-breasted, brainless woman. What is this? She couldn't help but ask out loud. Tao Qian smiled. This is the key to the future. Chapter 28. Did Tao Qian come here to do good deeds? Of course not. Whether people in this world live or die is none of his business. So, his research is destined to be bright but never fulfilled, but he is proficient in defrauding funds, and he also knows that if you want a horse to run fast, you have to feed it grass. So it is inevitable to launch phased results step by step. Anyway, the materials are all some tiger and wolf level monsters. After rounding off, it is almost like getting something for free. But then again, even this kind of phased result is still an unimaginable great invention for people in this world. Fubuki left with the secret weapon that surpasses her sister with satisfaction. Tao Qian plunged into intense research again. Occasionally, he would go to Luden's house to relax and enjoy the pleasure of hitting the world's strongest one-punch man. Genos shamelessly moved into Saitama's cramped apartment. Tao Qian once suggested that they move to an uninhabited area near the laboratory. But Saitama refused because he didn't want to be seen in the embarrassing state of training. When he said this, the face of Lu Dan changed subtly. He dodged and didn't dare to look at Tao Qian. Damn, he is not really practicing the spirit bomb. When he thought that Lu Dan would not be solved by a punch in the future, but would become Lu Dan Kong. Tao Qian wanted to laugh. But, with his ability, maybe he can really practice something? A few days passed like this. During this period in F-City, the hard-headed Hammerhead stole a warehouse of combat uniforms from an unknown organization and used them to wreak havoc. Unlocked a new plot mission, Sonic the Speed of Sound. In the end, Lu Dan, who was inexplicably involved in the incident, unlocked a new title, Egg Dismantling Expert. And Tao Qian also attracted the attention of more organizations and wealthy people because of the great success of his phased results. Advertisement. There are more and more robots and monitors around his laboratory. If his laboratory had not been strong enough, it would have been infiltrated long ago. And the Hero Association has repeatedly invited Tao Qian to join officially. They even offered to directly become the 7th S class. One place higher than the king, the strongest man on the surface they have been promoting. But Tao Qian still refused. He is not interested in being a dog. Until this day. What? Saitama-kun, why do you want to take the hero exam and become a professional hero? Tao Qian asked knowingly while chewing steak. Saitama took the opportunity to put the last piece of steak into his bowl, and then he sighed. My popularity is too low. You know, I've been a hero for 3 whole years. I've eliminated countless evil organizations. I've never seen a hero more active than me. Logically, many people should know me, not everyone. It's not surprising to have 1 or 2 beautiful female fans. But guess what someone said today? He said he didn't know me at all. The residents of the town even regarded me as a saboteur. You know, it was me who defeated the monster before. Lu Dan slammed his fist on the table and said sullenly, You're so stupid, Saitama-kun. So you've missed a lot of hero benefits in the past 3 years. Tao Qian opened his mouth and almost made Lu Dan jump up with excitement. He opened his fingers and counted them one by one. The Hero Association will give corresponding points and bounties according to the hero's performance. The higher the level of monster disasters eliminated by the hero, the more points and bounties he will get. Not to mention some other security benefits, such as many investors in the Hero Association have large hospitals under their names. If a hero is injured and treated during a mission, as long as he goes to a designated hospital for treatment, he will also receive corresponding discounts. There are also high-temperature subsidies in summer, heating subsidies in winter, year-end bonuses, regular mission subsidies, emergency mission subsidies. After becoming an S-level hero, you can also apply for free housing. Advertisement. Every time Tao Qian said something, Lu Dan's face became uglier. Not to mention your accumulated contributions in the past 3 years, even if it's just the heroic deeds you have done since I met you. According to the calculation, how much have you lost in the past 6 months? Let me see. At least several million yen. Enough. Stop talking. Lu Dan was about to cry at this time. No one had ever settled accounts with him like this. Millions of yen. Lu Dan reached out and took out his bank book, tremblingly opening it. On it was a dry number, 20 yen. Well, I can't even afford the drinks in the roadside vending machine. What a life. Endless regrets kept stimulating Lu Dan. Why didn't I know? Tao Jun, Genos, have you registered? Tao Qian straightened his collar and took out his business card. I am not talented, but I am a senior consultant of the Hero Association. As for heroes, forget it. Genos also replied. My purpose is only revenge, and I have never thought about such things. Oh, is that so? Lu Dan suddenly stood up. Let's go register together. Genos, if you go with me, I will accept you as my apprentice. Tao Jun, if you go with me, I will let you draw blood again. With the attitude that you can't lose face alone, Lu Dan invited the two to go together. Tao Qian and Genos looked at each other. No problem. Do you need me to help you open the back door? Teacher, what are you waiting for? Let's go. Chapter 29. City A, the headquarters of the Hero Association. In the solemn meeting room, the well-dressed directors are meeting. The unlicensed knight who ranked first in C level is still unwilling to upgrade to B level. There is really nothing we can do about him. Let's move on to the next topic. In this 55th hero test, the number of heroes participating in the assessment has reached a new high, reaching 11,684, an increase of 22% over the previous session. Wow! There was a burst of exclamations in the meeting room. But the senior director sitting in the front seat was not optimistic. Don't be happy too early. Although the number of heroes participating in the assessment is large, the quality has not increased significantly. For this reason, the association's test must be more stringent. Suddenly, the door of the meeting room was pushed open. A staff member walked in quickly. Chairman, there is important news from City Z. Tao. Dr. Tao appeared at the assessment site. Wow, the atmosphere in the meeting room suddenly became enthusiastic. It turns out to be Dr. Tao, the inventor of the immortality potion. Does he also want to become an official hero? Many investors were dissatisfied with the relationship between Dr. Tao and the association before. If Dr. Tao can officially join the association this time, I believe they will definitely increase their donations. Yes, and I heard that Dr. Tao's research progress is very encouraging. If he officially joins the association, can the association get the potion at cost price? It's no wonder that these directors are so excited. If Tao Qian is just an ordinary mechanical doctor, the Hero Association is not short of such talents. Whether it is the Metal Knight who does not obey orders, or the Drive Knight who has ulterior motives, they are all top talents of this kind. Not to mention the S-Class Hero Child Emperor, who is the actual advisor of the Hero Association. These heroes are powerful, but they don't have a close relationship with these directors. But Tao Qian is different. During this period, the news about the evolution potion was widely circulated in the association, and almost everyone knew it. Oh, except the heroes. Many rumors indicate that the potion produced by Tao Qian has in fact unlocked the key to evolution of ordinary people. This is of course the result of rumors. But isn't this the case with human beings? The more they hide, the more mysterious the rumors that spread outside. Advertisement, not to mention that Tao Qian's potion does have an effect. Even Fubuki feels that it can be used to enhance superpowers. But when everyone was still imagining the future, the staff who came to report poured cold water on them in public. The association did not receive Dr. Tao's hero assessment application. He claimed to be accompanying someone. Among the people traveling with him, there happened to be a key observation target of the association before. In any case, Dr. Tao is a talent that the Hero Association urgently needs to attract. For some of his not excessive requirements, the association should try to meet them as much as possible. The chairman finally set the tone for the meeting. Z City, the sixth special venue for the Hero Association certification test. The place, which usually serves as a refuge, was now crowded with volunteers who came to take the hero exam. After Tao Qian and his companions handed in their registration forms, they were taken to different rooms. Lu Dan, squeezed into a long line with a group of people. Genos was taken to a meeting room. Tao Qian, on the other hand, went directly into the VIP service room. Naked difference in treatment. The person who greeted Tao Qian was very interesting. Emma, the head of the conference room that contacted Dr. Tao. Acting head of the Hero Discipline Supervision Section, Akuzma. Head of the Subordinate Hero Enhancement Department of the Armament Department, Gerbridge. Dr. Tao, I'm sorry to have kept you waiting. Mr. Chairman is rushing to City Z. Several people had been waiting in the room before Tao Qian came in, but they still had to talk to him in a low profile. Well, don't bother. I'm just accompanying my friend to take the exam, Tao Qian said. Several people looked at each other and felt that they seemed to understand something. We understand, Dr. Tao. Please rest assured. We will definitely arrange the test for your friend. Huh, did they misunderstand something? However, Tao Qian had no doubt that Lu Dan passed the test. Advertisement: the other party's physical fitness was off the charts. The reason why he was only a C-level hero in the plot was actually not difficult to understand. The author did it on purpose. But when the plot enters reality, there will naturally be a corresponding logical explanation. For example, the written test score in cultural aspects is too poor, and he did not flatter the Hero Association like others. For example, if the test paper asks, "Why do you want to be a hero?" you can at least write, "I have dreamed of becoming a hero since I was a child, and I want to contribute to the Hero Association." Lu Dan will definitely write, "Out of interest." If the test paper asks, "What should I do if I encounter a monster disaster that is difficult to solve?" at least write, "Use your life to hold the enemy back and ask for support." Lu Dan will definitely write, "Solve it with one punch, and if it doesn't work, hit it again." It would be a pity if he could get a high score. Don't get me wrong, Tao Qian didn't want to open a back door for Lu Dan. He was just idle. Time passed quickly. Tao Qian dealt with Emma's flirting while ignoring Akuzma's flirting, and chatted with Gablek, until the door creaked open. The chairman walked in quickly with a group of directors. The uncle extended his hands enthusiastically from a distance. "Dr. Tao, welcome to guide the work of our association. I wonder if you have any requirements? We will do our best to meet them." Requirement? Tao Qian's eyes turned, and he thought of a good idea. It's not a requirement. Since the association is so sincere and I have time, why not help the association to check it? What? Check it? The chairman was stunned, but soon recovered his smile. "You are most welcome." Chapter 30. While Tao Qian was receiving the grand reception, in the conference room, Genos' interview was also coming to an end. The middle-level person in charge of the interview took out a photo, which was the ruins of the Evolution House that had been razed to the ground. This is the Evolution House, a certain unstable organization that the association has been detecting. Originally, the association had found their hiding place, but it turned out that it had been destroyed without a trace. According to the trace detection on the scene, this was caused by a huge fire attack. "Mr. Genos, did you do this?" Genos looked at the photo and found that he had indeed flattened the surface. "Yes, what's wrong?" Several middle-level people looked at each other and nodded. "In this way, it's correct, and this person seems to have come with Dr. Tao." The leading interviewer shook hands with Genos politely. Mr. Genos, your interview is over. Thank you for your cooperation. Then, he directly stamped the S-level certification mark on Genos's interview record. On the other side, Tao Qian, who was a guest interviewer, also really saw the diversity of species. Mr. Wild Boar Boxer, please take off your headgear. Several staff members said to a tester wearing a wild boar headgear. Impossible. The headgear is the source of my power, and heroes should also have privacy. You have no right to ask me to take off the headgear. Hearing such an answer, several interviewers shook their heads at the same time. On the other party's 20 plus 30 points report card, a failed stamp was stamped. Dr. Tao, I'm sorry to make you laugh. In order to prevent Tao Qian from getting bored, Akuzma, who was specially accompanying him, deliberately smiled. The Hero Association's recruitment work has been going on for the 55th time so far. The association holds an assessment almost every 3 weeks on average. In order to protect the safety of all mankind, the association has made a lot of efforts. But so far, the association has only actually registered more than 600 heroes. Among them, 399 are sea-level heroes. This ambitious woman seemed to have noticed some kind of relationship between Emma and Tao Qian, so while introducing them, she approached Tao Qian intentionally or unintentionally. Oh, Tao Qian casually perfunctorily said, 55th session, more than 600 heroes, 6 test sites. That is to say, 99.99% of those who came to the hero test in large numbers failed the test. On average, only 2 people passed each time in one site. Advertisement and the qualified candidates of this session were obvious. Genos and Lu Dan. Speak of the devil. The next person who pushed the door in was the dull-looking Lu Dan. As soon as he entered the room, Lu Dan shouted, didn't you say that we could wait for the news? Why do we need an interview? Akuzma, who was standing by, looked a little embarrassed. There was no interview session in the hero qualification test, unless the other party had already entered the site of the Hero Association. This time, it was because Tao Qian asked to be the interviewer that this session was added. At this time, Lu Dan, who had just entered, also saw Tao Qian. Tao Jun, you are here too? He greeted Tao Qian casually. The expressions of the staff in the meeting room immediately became much more solemn. Acquaintance. Interview. This is clearly an open backdoor. It's just... The staff saw Lu Dan's score sheet. The full score for the physical test was 50 points, and the written test was 21 points. I've seen people with biased scores, but I've never seen such a biased score. These 21 points are probably given because of the full score for physical strength. However, no matter how much you complain, you still have to go through the procedures. Both parties sat down, but Lu Dan suddenly stood up again. Mr. Tao, why are you sitting opposite me? This fool, I thought Tao Qian was also here to apply for a hero. Tao Qian adjusted his glasses, and a smirk flashed across his mouth. Saitama-kun, please let me introduce myself again. I am a specially appointed senior consultant and researcher of the Hero Association, and the judge of the hero qualification this time. Saitama-kun, you have to perform well. When Tao Qian said this, everyone in the conference room except Lu Dan was startled again. Could it be that Dr. Tao didn't come here to take the back door this time? Is he trying to cause trouble for the boiled egg in front of him? Otherwise, why can't he hear familiarity from his tone? Advertisement, damn. What is Dr. Tao's attitude? Why does he want to be an interviewer? For a moment, everyone was in a dilemma. They were afraid that they could not understand Dr. Tao's attitude, which would cause him to have a bad impression of the Hero Association. Who can bear this responsibility? Ahem, Mr. Saitama, first of all, congratulations on your full score in the physical fitness test. Isn't that very simple? Ahem. The staff member almost spit out a mouthful of water. Easy? That's the difficulty that the association deliberately raised. Well, the association still has some questions about your answers in the written test. I wonder if you are convenient to answer. Excuse me, you wrote in your answer that being a hero is completely out of interest. So what kind of interest is that? What? This question made the boiled egg confused. Interest is interest. Lu Dan replied indifferently. Ahem, Saitama-kun. Tao Qian spoke. Their question is, what kind of reason or mentality did you have to come up with the idea of becoming a hero? Just say it directly. Well, interest is interest. Why so many whys? Lu Dan still looked dazed. He didn't understand why they asked so many questions when they were just filling out a form. Staff. It was a waste of time to ask. Ahem, then the next question. I saw that you filled in fist in the skill column. Excuse me, do you just use your fists to fight? Yes, what's wrong? Saitama was still confused. Then, in the self-introduction column, you said that you wanted to be the most famous and popular hero. This? The staff was a little embarrassed. The question clearly asked about the other party's special qualities, and did not ask about the other party's dream. Yes, that's right. It's precisely because I don't have any fame that I want to become a formal hero. By the way, I heard that after getting rid of the monster, the Ing Association will issue a bonus. Can it be reissued? Staff, even Tao Qian sighed secretly. What a bad teammate. Chapter 31. Sea level? Is there a mistake? I'll complain to the association. In the lounge, Genos got the result and looked at the result that he was S level and Lu Dan was sea level. He looked incredulous. Ah, forget it, that's too embarrassing. As long as he passed it, it's fine. Lu Dan didn't understand the difference between S level and sea level at all. Anyway, he passed it. All the troubles are just random thoughts. And Lu Dan, as long as he is stupid enough, there is no such thing as trouble. By the way, I still don't know what Tao Jun's purpose is. The questions he asked me today are weird. Ah, Genos, do you mean you didn't see Tao Jun during the interview? Damn it. I knew he must have deliberately made trouble for me. I must teach him a lesson some other day. Lu Dan felt that he was being targeted. Tao Qian on the other side encountered other unexpected things. As soon as he walked out of the assessment venue surrounded by the people of the association, someone immediately came to greet him. The visitor was a tall and handsome man with an almost perfect face. Sweetheart Mask, the top hero in A class. Dr. Tao? Let's talk somewhere else. Although Sweetheart Mask's tone was light, it carried an irresistible tone. Tao Qian shrugged and followed the other party to a corner of the alley. Dr. Tao, I've known you for a long time. Sweetheart Mask smiled and stroked his hair. I also know that the research project you are conducting is using weirdos to do research, right? And I also heard that there seem to be living weirdos in your laboratory. Please don't get me wrong. I'm not here to accuse or report you. The big star put his hands in his pockets and smiled at Tao Qian. In fact, I welcome your research, Doctor. Advertisement, if those ugly monsters that should be completely eliminated can be used to contribute to the world, it seems to be a way to recycle waste. The purpose of my visit this time is just to remind you of one thing. Please be sure to keep an eye on those experimental subjects. If they get out and cause harm to society, it will cause considerable damage to both the Hero Association and your reputation, Doctor. The most important thing is, don't let me catch you using monsters to do anything bad. No, how can you say these words without blushing or beating your heart? As if you are not a monster yourself. Tao Qian did not show his inner criticism. Facing the kind reminder of Sweetheart Mask, he showed good qualities. Mr. Sweetheart Mask, please rest assured. I have full confidence in myself and my research. As a big star, you don't seem to know that humans have already stepped into a new era. Whether it's a weirdo or a hero, have you noticed that there are more and more people with special abilities? Tao Qian leaned close to Sweetheart Mask's ear. For example, you, Mr. Sweetheart Mask, I'm very curious about what you look like under this mask. Hee hee. Sweetheart Mask's face changed. The person in front of him was really scary. Even the Hero Association knew that he was wearing a mask. He suddenly realized that he was careless and didn't dodge. It's just that Tao Qian is a time traveler. He has only been in this world for more than half a year. All the information about him and the organization can only be traced back to half a year ago. It's like suddenly jumping out of a crack in a stone. In this situation, it was indeed too careless to rashly find the other party. Sweetheart Mask looked at Tao Qian's gentle smile, and this thought suddenly popped up in his mind. But he remained calm on the surface. Dr. Tao, if you want to see it, I can make an exception and take off the mask for you to have a glimpse. Okay, take it off and let me see. Advertisement. Why don't you play by the rules? Shouldn't this kind of presumptuous request be declined and then given up? For a moment, Sweetheart Mask was verbally blocked by Tao Qian. It's not right to take it off, and it's not right not to take it off. Taking it off means exposing it, and if it's not taken off, how can it be rejected? Tao Qian seemed to see his dilemma and reached out to pat Sweetheart Mask's shoulder. Haha, just kidding. Mr. Sweetheart Mask, I will seriously consider your advice to me, but at the same time, I also have advice to tell you. Tao Qian leaned close to the other person's ear and whispered, the real ugly people are ugly inside. The beauty and ugliness on the surface are just the superficial impressions of ordinary people. Don't go to extremes, Mr. Sweetheart Mask. After that, Tao Qian walked away on his own. Behind him, Sweetheart Mask's eyes flickered. You seem to have a hint, Dr. Tao. He subconsciously clenched his fists. What do you know? Huh. It seems that I really underestimated these crazy scientists. When he thought of the other party's repeated rejection of the Ingxia's recruitment, Sweetheart Mask seemed to have an illusion in his heart. The Hero Association doesn't seem to be a great organization in the other party's mind. Is my level too low? Chapter 32. In the beginning, except for the fixed major events, the original plot of the animation will not be so fixed and detailed. The protagonist has already had an impact on the world. Tao Qian encountered an accident on his way back. In the downtown area, a fully armed robot blocked Tao Qian's car. I am the G3 machine god. Dr. Tao, you are a talent that our organization urgently needs. I hope you will cooperate with my work. Please don't resist to avoid unnecessary casualties. As the robot spoke, it fired a shot directly at the building next to it. A building with more than 10 floors and the parking lot at the door were razed to the ground. The violent explosion made the bustling street quiet. Afterwards, it was like dripping a drop of water into boiling hot oil. The people on the whole street fled in panic. What a weirdo. Help. My car is gone. What? I just bought a cup of coffee and my company is gone? What about my mortgage? Where is the hero? Go find a hero. Mom, you're willing to attack ordinary people just to threaten me? You really overestimate my moral standards. Although Tao Qian was dismissive of such threats, but if he just walked away, wouldn't it be a waste of entries? Even if the entries are useless, at least there are still kill points. Humph, if you want me to go with you, I don't have any objection, Tao Qian replied indifferently. This shocked the staff of the Hero Association who were accompanying him. Wait, doctor. We have called nearby heroes to come to support. Just wait 5 minutes, 5 minutes. Because the Hero Association has very strict control over many information. Advertisement. The fact that Tao Qian has the ability to kill ghost-level monsters in seconds is basically known to only a few high-level officials and heroes such as Child Emperor and Sweet Mask who are highly involved in the operation of the Hero Association. Even Tornado did not realize it until she failed to defeat Tao Qian with her superpowers. Therefore, these staff members think that Tao Qian is just a scientist who is powerless. Obviously, the organization to which the robot on the opposite side belongs also thinks so. Shut up. The robot's eyes flashed red, and it directly shot several lasers at several staff members. But what it didn't expect was that someone would be faster than the laser. Tao Qian had just reached several important cooperations with the Hero Association, and now he was embarrassed to watch the other party's people die in front of him. Therefore, when the mechanical core of G3 just issued an attack command to the weapon module, Tao Qian had already taken action. Although the interval was no more than 0.1 seconds, it was enough to determine the life and death of these people. Haha, although I am also interested in your organization, I didn't say I would go with you directly. Tao Qian took off his glasses, untied his tie, and moved his hands and feet on the spot, saying with a hint of mockery, "Little thing, please, please don't be too fragile." His eyes fell on the huge body of G3, but he didn't stare at the head, but on the chest of the big robot, as if there was something hidden there. As soon as these words came out, G3, who was about to continue chasing, stopped immediately. In an instant, countless red lights shot out from it, almost locking all parts of Tao Qian's body. Dr. Tao, I admit that the organization's information database has a lag, and you should have a certain ability to protect yourself. But as a robot used for testing, another main function of mine is to collect information about the opponent. Please believe me, whether you are a physical ability user, a mechanical cyborg, or even a superpower user. Even if my action fails this time, the organization will create a corresponding restraining model in a very short time. You know nothing about the power of machines. The giant robot said, and took the lead. The heavy sword in the robot's hand was as light as a feather, and it slashed down towards Tao Qian. The power of the sword shattered the street under Tao Qian's feet, and countless gravel flew away. That's it? I'm afraid it's not as good as the gorilla a few days ago. Tao Qian stepped lightly to the side and dodged the slash. He was not in a hurry to use the energy bomb. After all, such resources delivered to the door were rare. He still wanted to get more wool. The giant robot missed the attack and took the opportunity to raise the sword horizontally and slashed at Tao Qian. Hey! This time Tao Qian did not dodge again, but stretched out his hand and grabbed the sharp blade. The robot's force of at least several tons seemed to sink into the sea, and even the sword itself was caught by Tao Qian. It wanted to withdraw the weapon, but found that it could not pull it at all. The red mechanical eyes flickered. Is this the power that ordinary humans can possess? Dr. Tao Qian, we are more interested in your secrets. This guy was relieved to see that Tao Qian was not an ordinary person. Then there was a crackling sound all over his body, and in just a blink of an eye, countless weapons of all sizes were aimed at Tao Qian. The next moment, advertisement not only did it fire red lasers, but it also fired dozens of micro-missiles from the robot, dragging long-tail flames towards Tao Qian. Humph, I don't know what you mean. Tao Qian shook his head, his body swayed, and at the moment the robot fired its weapons, he appeared on top of its head. He hugged down with both hands and pulled. The huge mechanical head, with a long mechanical spine, was pulled out of the robot by Tao Qian. Sizzle. The robot made a lot of noises, flashing electric light, and then a burnt smell came out. Really, such a big guy is really not as good as my gorilla. Note: the armored gorilla currently works as a loader in the laboratory to make a living. As a puff of black smoke burst out of the robot, the huge body fell to the street with a bang. But Tao Qian did not give up. Instead, he looked inside the hole with a playful look. He reached out and pulled again. Another small robot struggled to be pulled out by him. Please stay, click. Tao Qian shrugged. Too late. Ding. Detected lootable entries. AI Intelligent Core, Purple, the third generation of self-iterative intelligent AI invented by unknown scientists, with computing power 10 times that of the previous generation. Energy Furnace, Blue, able to flexibly use various natural resources to supplement energy, including but not limited to solar energy, fire energy, wind energy, water power. You killed a large robot of disaster-level ghosts and obtained 1,000 kill points. SK, only this much. Tao Qian smacked his lips, a little dissatisfied. However, this time was not without gain. This AI is not bad. I can upgrade Jarvis when I go back. Go home. Chapter 33. Tao Qian was not the only one who was attacked. On the way back, he got the news that the laboratory was also attacked. Thanks to the 2 ghost-level monsters he raised to watch the house. Under the protection of the Mosquito Girl and the gorilla, the laboratory converted from the shelter only had a hole punched in the wall. The attacker was also a G3 model robot. At the reminder of Genos, the opponent's mechanical core was also left behind. Your followers killed a large robot of disaster-level ghosts, and you get 750 kill points. My followers also killed me? Tao Qian's eyes flickered. This is a pleasant surprise. In this way, he often doesn't have to worry about being too busy. But when he returned to the laboratory, he found that the trouble was far from that simple. The expensive experimental equipment was scattered all over the floor. The laboratory table was in a mess. The armored gorilla had a broken arm. The Mosquito Girl even had a broken horn and claw. Fortunately, the instigator, the insect god, was imprisoned again because of the exhaustion of accumulated energy. Dr. Tao, you underestimated this insect monster. Genos pointed at the surveillance and said to Tao Qian, the evolution and iteration speed of insects is very fast, even after becoming a monster. It's just that this evolution and iteration is passive. When you use it to do various experiments, you are actually forcing it to adapt to various injuries and continue to evolve. As someone who successfully created the Azura rhinoceros beetle, I should have a lot of say in this regard. Tao Qian nodded silently. After gaining enough power, his mentality was indeed a little inflated. Before, he only used some monster remnant organizations for experiments. But some time ago, he let the dying insect god go. Advertisement. Fortunately, the laboratory did not suffer too much loss. Well, this loss can be attributed to the destruction of the robot, and then ask the Yingxia and other investors to provide more financial support. Who doesn't know how to make false accounts? Tao Qian did not deny Genos' professionalism. It's just that this guy is very ambitious, and Tao Qian does not completely trust him. The main reason is that he is reluctant to give a subordinate position to this old man. Does Dr. Genos have any new ideas? He asked deliberately. Of course, after entering Dr. Tao's laboratory, I found that my previous goals were too narrow. Now I have new goals. Genos pushed his glasses on the bridge of his nose and said to Tao Qian seriously, but I still have a question that I want to get Dr. Tao's answer. After breaking free from the restraints, this big bug did not rush to escape, but tried desperately to open your storage room. It seems that something in it is attracting it. Genos nervously adjusted his glasses again. Dr. Tao, can I know what is in it? After all, I am the chief researcher, assistant of the laboratory, and I should have the right to know. Tao Qian pondered for a moment and felt that there was no need to hide some things. In it, There is a monster cell obtained from a mysterious channel. Just a monster cell? Genos asked doubtfully. Of course it's not an ordinary monster cell, Tao Qian explained. According to the monster who owns this cell, this is a part of the body of a great being, and taking it can give people real power. What is real power? Just relying on this inhuman thing in the lab dish? He looked at the insect god who was imprisoned again, his tone full of disdain. This thing that even he doesn't recognize is worthy of being called evolution? Real evolution should be like a boiled egg, breaking the shackles engraved on human genes, breaking through natural limitations, and becoming infinitely stronger. Tao Qian then took out the monster cell forgotten in the corner of the storage room. Genos looked at the so-called cell in front of him, who had been sealed for an unknown period of time, but was still active and even beating, with a solemn expression. When I saw it, I had a desire, as if I could realize any wish as long as I swallowed it. Advertisement, doctor. I feel the same way. The armored gorilla who had his arm reattached said in a muffled voice. Master, Erica didn't say it clearly, but Tao Qian already understood what she meant. Even the half-dead insect god locked in the cultured dish raised his head slowly and stared at the outside eagerly. Unexpectedly, Tao Qian squeezed the cell into a ball of blood mud with a light squeeze. Don't think about this dangerous thing. Our research results will be more powerful than it. The cell was destroyed, and the eyes of everyone in the field instantly became clear. It's so scary. I seem to have been affected by something just now. Yes, I actually had the idea of taking the cell from Dr. Tao. I'm really crazy. Isn't that courting death? Erica. Why did I think of that way? Tao Qian sneered when he saw this. Cold. This thing can amplify your desires and make you have some unrealistic fantasies. If I'm not mistaken, if you take this thing, you might think of going to XX place to meet XX people, and then your life and death will be completely controlled by others. Okay, go back to work. Tao Qian returned to the office and thought again and again. According to the original work, this thing is a product of Wang Dash. And Wang Dash is a powerful monster born by Sykes through the near-death evolution theory. But is it really so simple behind this kind of thing? You know, Lu Dan got the black cube that can convey the will of God from the Monster Association. Even in the Monster Association, there is a dragon-level cadre who is completely empowered by God, Wandering Emperor. If you say there is no trick here, even dogs will not believe it. As I was thinking, the office door creaked. Erica walked in on tiptoe. Master, I got injured today. Need to supplement nutrition. Chapter 34. City Z. No Man's Land. Golden Ball and Spring Beard walked into this mysterious area with trepidation. They carefully explored around while chatting about the information they knew. Compared with other areas, the number of monsters in City Z far exceeds that of other urban areas. It has been about 10 years ago that the frequency of appearance has increased year by year. Finally, due to the frequent appearance of high-level monsters a few years ago, the residents here moved to the city center to live. As a result, even the basic facilities such as tap water and electricity were not shut down in time. By the way, the housing prices here are very cheap now, brother. Don't you consider it? Don't joke. It is said that there are terrible monsters living here. Maybe there is a community of naturally generated monsters, or maybe it is a monster queen who breeds all kinds of monsters. Who knows? Isn't this the purpose of the association sending us here? As long as we find out the truth, we can also become top heroes. The two passed by pieces of ruins and were somewhat shocked by the current situation of the No Man's Land. After all, I have never seen a place with traces of fighting almost everywhere. At first glance, it is the wreckage of a vending machine cut by the claws of an unknown creature. There is also a big hole on the ground that was smashed by something unknown. On the wall of the building, there are dried but still recognizable bloodstains. All signs indicate that there seems to be some powerful creatures with strong territorial awareness living here. As the two walked, they suddenly stopped at the same time. Springbeard, did you hear any sound? Golden Ball asked suspiciously. Springbeard looked solemn, listened for a long time, and then said uncertainly, It seems to be some Earth. Please, give the yuan to. The voice was far away from the two, and it was intermittent so that they could not distinguish. What made the two more hesitant was that there seemed to be two different voices at the same time. Springbeard touched his beard. Did I say it right? There is indeed a community of naturally occurring monsters here. And now, they are performing some kind of sacrifice? Sacrifice? This word seemed to touch upon some taboos of the two. They looked at the empty streets ahead, their faces hesitant. How about reporting to the association first and asking for support? Golden Ball carefully asked his companions for their opinions. No. Springbeard decisively rejected him. If we two A-level heroes both ask for support, the association will definitely send S-level heroes to investigate next. Where will we get credit by then? Golden Ball also nodded subconsciously to express his agreement. If it wasn't for the credit, for the hero points that can improve the hero ranking, who would take on such a task? Let's go ahead and take a look. What if they are just some ordinary monsters? They just happen to be the stepping stone for our upgrade. Advertisement, Springbeard said, pulling his beard. Both of them are heroes who are very confident in their own strength. At the same time, they were dissatisfied with the A-level number 1 masked sweetheart occupying the position. So the two continued to go deeper. As the distance got closer, the intermittent voice became clearer and clearer. Earth, friends, please, please, give me the vitality I need. Quickly raise your hands. The two looked at each other and had their own guesses in their hearts. Vitality? What is vitality? Is it the name of strength for the monsters? Vitality, give it to me. Does it mean that the monsters have mastered some kind of cultivation skills? What do these monsters need? What does it mean to raise your hands? Is it some kind of ritual? These traces left on the ground are undoubtedly not formed naturally, but left by monsters. They may use some method or fight to seize the vitality in each other's body. The two discussed, their hearts pounding. They felt as if they had bumped into some great secret. Suddenly, there was a movement from behind them. There's something. Is it a weirdo? Let's go check it out. At the same time, in a residential building not far from them, Saitama brought Genos, and the two raised their hands. He shouted to the sky, "Friends on Earth, please, please give me your vitality. I really need your help now. Raise your hands to the sky." The two shouted 100 times before they put down their hands. Genos felt that he had not changed at all. "Teacher, does this training method really work?" he asked hesitantly. And Saitama, who didn't want to wash clothes, was trying hard to sense the so-called vitality. After hearing this question, he grinned and his painting style became serious. "Genos, do you remember what I told you? Under those conditions, I persisted in training for 3 years to have the strength I have today. You have only practiced for a few days now?" Genos lowered his head in shame. "I'm sorry, teacher. I know I was wrong. Starting tomorrow, I am willing to double my training." Saitama looked at him with a black line. "Mr. Tao once said that we should not rush training, ****. If you double your training and achieve it before me, won't I be embarrassed?" Advertisement, no. I have to practice more at night. Genos asked, "Did Dr. Tao say that?" Nonsense. Of course he didn't. "Okay. I'm going to buy groceries, Genos. You clean the room." "Yes, teacher." "Weird man. Golden Ball, let's go." Golden Ball. "Damn it. Let's ask the Hero Association for support." Director. Golden Ball 28 in A-level can no longer fight. Springbeard 33 in A-level is in a tough battle. The unshaven middle-aged man pondered for a moment and gave a decisive order. Send a message and ask nearby heroes to come to support. No Man's Land. A street after a fierce battle. Infinite Kumbu Man sighed when he saw the two heroes who had lost their combat effectiveness. "What? So boring. It's rare to meet two heroes, and I didn't even scream. It doesn't look like there are many people living here. There's no way to become famous." But when it turned around, it happened to see Tao Qian, who was rushing to visit Saitama's house. Human. Tao Qian was also stunned. Weird. Evening. Saitama's house. "Well, it's really rude, Tao Jun. You always bring so much food." "Huh. There's so much kelp." Hospital. The director who came to visit Springbeard and the other two got a heavy news from the two heroes. A group of suspected monsters? They seemed to be offering sacrifices to something, praying for a resource called vitality. The chairman of the board let out a sigh of relief. "This news is very important. The association is very grateful for your efforts. Please concentrate on self-cultivation." Chapter 35. Well, it's another relaxing day. After a full meal, several people squeezed into Lu Dan's cramped apartment, looking up and counting the stars. "By the way, Tao Jun, the kelp you brought today is very chewy. Where did you buy it?" Saitama suddenly turned around and asked. "It's a byproduct of the company's experimental production, and it hasn't been put on the market yet." Tao Qian dismissed him lightly. "Also, Saitama, kelp actually doesn't have a hair growth effect, and it's useless no matter how much you eat? What are you talking about? Lu Dan suddenly felt unloved. By the way, Saitama, it seems that we haven't had a competition for a long time, Tao Qian suddenly said. Lu Dan's puzzled eyes immediately swept over. Competition? I have already given you the title of the King of Hot Pot in the No Man's Land. Do you want to snatch my title of the King of Instant Noodles? You are really a ruthless person. Tao Qian curled his lips. Who the hell wants to snatch the title of the King of Instant Noodles from you? I mean, should we play something else? For example, finger guessing or something? When he heard that it was not a must-lose event, Lu Dan immediately became interested. Ha ha ha, if it is finger guessing, Tao Jun, you really found a good opponent. Who in the whole No Man's Land doesn't know that finger guessing is the entertainment activity I am best at? Don't you think so, Genos? Genos, who was in a daze, said, what does it have to do with me? But he quickly reacted. Dr. Tao, the teacher is right. Tisk, whatever your teacher says, you will say yes, yes, yes. Tao Qian exposed him without any hesitation. Then he turned his eyes to Lu Dan. Since you are so confident, how do you play? The boiled egg smiled evilly. 1 round determines the winner. Rock, paper, scissors. Best of 3 rounds. Best of 5 rounds. Best of 7 rounds. Hole. You must have cheated. Advertisement. If the boiled egg had hair, it would be so angry that every strand would stand upright. He had scratched more than 100 times just now, but he actually didn't win a single round. This is unscientific. No, this is very scientific. Tao Qian adjusted his glasses. New words are not enough. Saitama-kun, your mentality is too unstable. I don't need to cheat to deal with you, but as long as you admit defeat, I will teach you the 98% winning rule of rock, paper, scissors. How about that? Winning rule. The red-hot boiled egg instantly returned to its original state, inexplicably excited. Okay, Tao Qian, I lost. Please teach me the winning rule. Ding! The long-lost voice finally rang again. You defeated the hero Saitama in the finger-guessing contest. Do you want to randomly copy one of his entries? Another lottery. Yes. Congratulations, you have obtained the entry. The harder you work, the stronger you become. Blue. Forget it. At least I am 1 step closer to the legendary limiter. The harder you work, the stronger you get. Blue. Each training session will improve the corresponding attribute. Concise and to the point. And the earlier obtained, I'm bald but I'm stronger. Blue. Hair loss, but the training effect is increased by 50%. Tao Qian. The effects of these 2 entries are simple and clear. At this time, Tao Qian searched the entry library. Infinite kelp head, purple. Turn hair into kelp that can be infinitely extended and tougher than steel. Even if it is cut off, it can grow again. By the way, if this entry can analyze the effect of hair regeneration, can it offset the effect of hair loss? I remember there is a guy called Demon Long Hair in the Monster Association. Let's do it together then. Before copying the limiter, there is actually a certain upper limit to the increase in strength. So Tao Qian is not in a hurry. After accepting this entry casually, Tao Qian also kept his promise. This involves a certain psychological category. The first one is to follow the order of scissors, rock, and paper. You should do what the other party did last time. This is called consistency dependence. You can also keep an eye on the rules in advance, such as strictly following the order of scissors, rock, paper. This is called the priming effect. Advertisement. You can announce what you are going to do in advance to disrupt the other party's thoughts. This is called subconscious information. And this term related to psychology. Its principle is, for people with different personalities, you can also hulu. Lu Dan has fallen asleep. Tao Qian turned his head to look at Genos, who was writing furiously on the side. The other party also looked at him. Dr. Tao, you are really knowledgeable. Genos lowered his head, afraid that Tao Qian would see his blank look. Yes, he has been recording, but he didn't understand these words at all. Even when he took out some vocabulary lists, he had to search online to find out what they meant. There is no way. He is only 19 years old now, and he became a biochemical man because his hometown was destroyed 4 years ago. To put it simply, illiterate. Not much different from a boiled egg. By the way, Dr. Tao, I have a question. Genos suddenly became shy. It's about the cultivation of vitality. I have been practicing with my master for more than a week, but I haven't generated any feeling about vitality. Dr. Tao, I want to become stronger. Is there any way to accelerate it relatively? What? You actually practiced? F asterisk asterisk KMMAP. Boiled egg, are you serious? Tao Qian was speechless. But looking at Genos' hopeful eyes, he didn't want to extinguish the boy's unrealistic dream. Well, how to say it? Tao Qian crossed his arms in front of his chest, his expression serious. Genos, there is no shortcut to cultivation. Genos' expression was serious. Sorry, I was impatient. Chapter 36. Master, the Hero Association just sent an urgent message. Erica knocked on the door of the office and walked in quickly. The Hero Association claims that a meteorite suddenly changed its trajectory and will land in City Z in 40 minutes. The association hopes that the Master will evacuate immediately. Meteorite? Tao Qian pressed a button, and the skylight on the top of the laboratory immediately opened. The blue sky immediately appeared in front of the two. At this moment, nothing can be seen in the sky. Generally speaking, it takes less than 4 or 5 minutes for a meteorite to enter the atmosphere and land on the ground. So, the meteorite that changed its trajectory is still in outer space. But the warning broadcast in City Z has begun to broadcast. The streets are already crowded with vehicles trying to escape from City Z. For a while, there were the sounds of vehicles honking everywhere, and many people burst into hysterical curses because of traffic jams. But Tao Qian was not in a hurry at all. Even if the sky fell, there were still boiled eggs to support it. Why was he in a hurry? Afterwards, Tao Qian gave an order that made Mosquito Girl a little confused. Erica, call the Yingxia and ask if it was Tornado who did it. Tornado has the ability to summon meteorites. Moreover, when Fubuki came to Tao Qian to purchase goods a few days ago, she was caught by Tornado again. After trying to crush Tao Qian to death again without success, this airport left a cruel word. I will crush you sooner or later. Now there are some signs of incompatibility between the two. In this way, Tornado is highly suspected of committing the crime. When the Mosquito Girl called, the Yingxia fell silent immediately. Hey, don't say it. It seems that many people do assume that Tornado did it. They just don't dare to ask her or mention it in person. Master, the Yingxia asked us if we need support. If we do, they will send a helicopter over. Erica hung up the phone and continued to ask. Haha, if you really want to support sincerely, do you still need to ask? It's clear that she wants to take this opportunity to control Tao Qian a little. Childish. Tao Qian silently gave his evaluation of the Hero Association Council, then stood up and walked out. Advertisement. Erica, tell Dr. Genos to focus on his research. I'll take care of the meteorite problem. Yes, Master. Soon, Tao Qian came to Lu Dan's house. What? There's a meteorite? Lu Dan, who was dreaming that Genos was expelled from the Hero Association, asked in surprise. He then opened the curtains. I didn't see it, Tao Jun. Where is the meteorite? By the time you can see it, it will almost hit you, Saitama-kun. Tao Qian had no choice but to give Lu Dan some more science about meteorites. But Lu Dan didn't want to listen at all. It's so troublesome, Tao Jun. Just tell me when the meteorite will hit me. Tao Qian looked at his watch. There are still 20 minutes. Ah, there's still time, Tao Jun. Do you want to play rock, paper, scissors? I've been practicing for a long time recently. Lu Dan raised his head, full of confidence. Genos hasn't beaten me in a long time. He's just letting you win. Tao Qian thought. One round will decide the outcome. Best of 3 games. No. Best of 5 games. How is that possible? Best of 7 games. You cheated. Can't you let me win once? Tao Qian took a deep breath and calmed down. I told you what I was going to do from the 10th game. Lu Dan scratched his head. Really? I remember you taught me that this can't be believed. In the end, it was Tao Qian who let him win, and Lu Dan finally won a game. Ha 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 ha. Tao Jun, I won. Saitama Jun, there are 10 minutes left now. On the rooftop of the Z City branch of the Hero Association, Genos and a burly old man with silver hair looked at the sky together. A white dot appeared there, and it was coming towards the two of them quickly. Silver Fongbang, the owner of the Flowing Rock Fist Dojo, the third-ranked hero of the Hero Association Exposition. Even such a powerful hero looked at the sky with a serious expression at this time. It seems that I'm going to die this time. The meteorite is getting closer and closer. Advertisement. At the critical moment, a large robot flies quickly from the horizon. Without even looking at the two people on the rooftop, it directly launches countless missiles. Metal Knight Beaufoy, a genius scientist, the 6th hero in the Exposition of the Hero Association. Genos hurriedly shouted, "Bofoy, do you want to join forces?" He was responded by an AI voice without emotion. "I refuse. I just come to test the power of the weapon, that's all." "There is no way. Genos has to release the core energy and fight hard. Young people have great firepower. The speed of the meteorite's descent seems not as fast as before." Bang squinted his eyes and sighed. "Really?" Genos asked in surprise. "Ah, sorry, it seems that I saw it wrong." As if he felt that he was about to die, Bang actually made a joke. F***K, stinky old man. Genos almost spit out a mouthful of diesel. Then, with his energy exhausted, he looked at the unbeatable meteorite and couldn't help falling into despair. "Is this where I will die?" Just then, a careless voice came from behind. Genos, you fought beautifully." Genos turned his head and shouted, "Teacher Saitama, run." "What? Who would run away?" Boiled Egg looked at the meteorite, approaching his head, and thought for a while. Turning back to Tao Qian, he said, "Just as we discussed just now, I will defeat it, and you help me clean it up." After seeing Tao Qian nod, Boiled Egg jumped suddenly. The force was so great that a huge crack was directly stepped on the ground of the rooftop. "No matter what it is, don't fall on my head." Boom. A loud noise shook the earth. "Meteorite. The meteorite is broken." Bang was so shocked that his jaw dropped. Who is this person? But then, something happened that almost made him lose his jaw. Tao Qian fired countless energy bombs. He smashed the larger pieces of the meteorite that had been smashed by the boiled egg again. Wow. Young people today are really amazing. Am I old? Chapter 37. 3 days after the meteorite incident. In the office, Tao Qian was listening to the secretary's report. The Ing Association is very grateful for the master's contribution to the meteorite attack, so it sent a few new orders. Tao Qian nodded indifferently. "You can handle these small matters." And Erica hesitated. "What else?" "Because you did not completely evaporate all the meteorite fragments. Some secondary disasters still occurred, so some negative voices were generated in society. Please rest assured, these voices are focused on your friend Saitama. But according to the investigation, it was found that someone actually deliberately spread some negative comments. The source of the comments is a member of an organization called the Vest Brotherhood. They are dissatisfied with Saitama's direct promotion from C-level 250 to C-level 5, so they want to incite public opinion attacks on him. Oh, things go around in circles, and those who should be scolded will still be scolded. Most ordinary people are creatures who want more after getting something. Or to be more precise, they are not worried about the lack of things, but the inequality. If everyone died in the disaster, naturally no one would gossip about it. But the disaster was solved, but not everyone was spared. Some people lost their jobs because of bad luck and injuries. Some people hurriedly put their properties up for sale in a critical moment, but failed to take them down in time after the crisis was resolved. There are also some people who think that the Hero Association is making a fuss and causing losses to themselves in other aspects. According to common sense, these people's voices are actually very small and weak, and will eventually disappear with the passage of time. But if someone intervenes, it will be different. In fact, many heroes have different reasons for engaging in this industry. For example, Lu Dan simply wants to be a hero. Of course, it would be better if he could become famous and be praised by others. For example, King was forced to do it and passively accepted the hero identity and benefits. For example, Genos accepted him as his apprentice because Lu Dan promised to sign up with him. Tornado? Maybe it's because Blast once saved her, and Blast is the #1 hero in the Hero Association. Metal Knight was attracted by the funds behind the Hero Association. Bang wanted to promote martial arts and was bored. Atomic Samurai, because there was a lack of challenges within the Sword Saint Society, and many other reasons. But for more A, B, and C-level heroes, it was either for fame and fortune, or for benefits, or even as a job. There are many more. It is mixed with various desires. Many people naturally attach great importance to the ranking of heroes. Advertisement among them, Vest Tiger and Vest Black Hole in the Vest Brotherhood are representatives. Before the meteorite disaster, they were ranked in the B level in the front position among the C-level heroes. Among them, Vest Tiger was ranked 5th in the C level. Well, he was just squeezed to 6th by Lu Dan. At this moment, in Z City, a block that suffered some damage. 2 people blocked Lu Dan who was strolling. Hey, you are the S-Class Heroes follower? You must be the bald guy who passed the hero test through a back door. The 2 laughed at Lu Dan unscrupulously, as if they were afraid that more people would hear them. I heard that the hero test originally did not have an interview session, but because of a bald guy who entered the venue with the great doctor, an additional interview session was added to the last test. Ha ha ha, I heard that even with a backdoor for a bald guy, he still only ranked 250th, which is so embarrassing. The two people's words attracted more and more people to watch the fun. Unintentionally, they all cast their eyes on the bewildered bald man in the middle. After the two brothers in vests found out, they performed even harder. I can't believe it. It's too much. Are you really not heartbroken at all by the tragic scene in front of you? Look at these innocent citizens. Don't you feel guilty at all? You actually still swagger out and hang around. Do you think everyone should be grateful to you? If you ask me, you are the culprit who caused everyone's injuries. It's just a meteorite. It will be handled smoothly by other heroes. People like you have caused such a big disaster. Do you still want to be a hero? The two people sang the same tune and directly put a huge black pot on the boiled egg. The boiled egg, who was accused by them, did not react until the people around him began to accuse him. Are you talking about me? For a while, a huge anger filled his heart. I worked so hard to eliminate monsters for everyone. I patrolled everywhere so hard to protect everyone's safety. But these people, can I really borrow vitality from these people? Do these people have the vitality that Tao Qian said? If these people are unreliable, how can I practice? The boiled egg was full of doubts. The Vest brother did not stop when he saw the good. They were getting closer. Advertisement, everyone, look. There's something wrong with this guy. Do you want to harm the people here? As messengers of justice, we, the Vest brothers, will never allow scum like you to continue to mix with us. Watch this. Vest tiger pounce. But Lu Dan just grabbed his fist with his hand. It hurts. My hand is going to rot. Spare me. Spare my life. I'm sorry, I was just talking nonsense. Please let me go. But Lu Dan seemed to have made up his mind. An inexplicable force surged in him. What? If you have any opinions, just say them. You are noisy, so you will say bad things about people behind their backs? If you have any opinions, tell Meteorite. I am not a hero because I care about your opinions. I want to do it myself, understand? I want to borrow vitality from you. It seems that I am the only one who has vitality. It seems that the boiled egg seems to be exerting all his strength. The corners of his clothes and cloak also fluttered without wind. Accompanied by the horrified eyes of the crowd, a subtle but pure white light gradually condensed on his head. Well, anyway, the light shone on his bald head, which was almost visible, and then reflected in the eyes of the crowd, which was very dazzling. Even Genos, who hurried over to persuade him, was stunned. Is this the vitality bomb cultivated by the teacher? It's really dazzling, as expected of the teacher. At this time, the boiled egg seemed to have discovered something. He reached out and picked it up from the top of his head. Is this the thing? It seems. It's not very powerful. Pinch, tap, rub. Suddenly, he realized something. Mr. Tao. I did it. Lu Dan can even catch the dimension slash, so it's reasonable to release the energy in the body in a different way. Chapter 38. Z City, Laboratory. A sturdy old man sat opposite Tao Qian, holding a cup of tea and savoring it carefully. After squinting his eyes and drinking the good tea in front of him, Bongu put down the tea bowl and said with a smile, I never thought that someone like the doctor would enjoy life so much. It really opened my eyes. He looked at the classical and luxurious decoration in the office and couldn't help but admire it sincerely. Nonsense, don't you see how much money I spent? Tao Qian and the old martial artist were polite again. This old man's social experience is several levels higher than that of the boiled egg. No matter what the topic is, he can connect it. He is so polite that you think he is here to flatter you. But when Tao Qian introduced the product to him, he didn't feel his desire for the so-called evolution. What is this old man doing here? Tao Qian finally decided to ask directly. Mr. Bango, I am very happy to see you. But is there anything I can do for you? Haha, young people just can't hold their temper. Bangu said slowly. I wanted to get some more good tea. Then his face became serious. Actually, I have no other intentions in coming here. I just want to invite Dr. Tao to visit my dojo someday. Bangu looked at Tao Qian in front of him, with a lot of thoughts in his mind. Tao Qian, who has upgraded to a black iron body, is already 188 centimeters tall. Tall and strong, wearing a straight suit. One can even vaguely guess the muscle outline like marble sculpture inside. Such a person is a good seedling born to practice martial arts. There is no fighting spirit or fighting power in this world. Martial artists choose disciples, except for those who pay for further study, mainly based on physical fitness and conditions. And Tao Qian stayed at this time, if described by ancient poetry. White teeth, red lips, handsome eyes, eyebrows that are always clear, thin waist and wide shoulders like an ape. He looks thin when dressed, but is flesh when undressed. Whether it is a famous martial arts master or a lustful woman, they will scream when they see him. Bongu was naturally not surprised. In addition to Tao Qian, he also planned to find the boiled egg that smashed the meteorite with one punch that day. In order to avoid the lack of successors in his Lu Shui Shattering Rock Fist dojo, he planned to accept 2 people as disciples. Ah, invite me to the dojo as a guest? Tao Qian was a little surprised. Advertisement, although they were in the same city, he didn't know the old man in front of him. The only intersection was that they met on the rooftop of the association a few days ago. But he thought it through. This old man is quite greedy. Not only did he set his sights on the boiled egg, he also wanted to pick up this ready-made one. As a guest? In that case, no problem. Will you go? Of course you will. After all, martial arts skills can also form skill-type entries. If someone is willing to teach, he is willing to learn. It is always good to have many skills. The 3rd day, the flowing water and broken rocks in the lush forest. Tao Qian ran into Lu Dan and the other man again. In front of Tao Qian, Lu Dan was as pent up as a boiled crab, but his excitement was beyond words. Mr. Tao, look, I succeeded in my practice. With Genos' respectful and admiring eyes. As Lu Dan held his breath, a small ball of light gradually appeared on his shoulder. What? This time it was Tao Qian's turn to be shocked. No, buddy, is this even possible? Has the Dragon Ball world begun to invade? Tao Jun, look at me. Tao Jun, Tao Jun. I saw Lu Dan holding the ball of light, wantonly ravaging it, squeezing it into a circle, and even playing with it like a yo-yo. Tao Qian realized that something seemed wrong. Lu Dan's spirit bomb seemed different from what he imagined. It seemed to be just a stream of qi extending from his body. It was completely different from his electromagnetic energy bomb. At this point, Tao Qian could only sigh at the specialness of Lu Dan. After all, he was the original protagonist. Dr. Tao, I have a question I want to confirm with you. Advertisement when the boiled egg was showing off like a child. Genos came over and whispered, I'm sorry for doubting you before. Genos lowered his head, respectful like a child. I'm having problems with my practice now. Teacher Saitama. He modified the practice formula. That's right. The boiled egg's head suddenly appeared beside the 2 of them. What do you mean by asking people for energy? It's not only embarrassing, but also useless. Those people are so selfish. How could they lend us energy? So, I'm borrowing for myself now. After that, the boiled egg held his hands to the sky and shouted loudly, Saitama on the earth, please, please give me energy. As he shouted, the energy ball became bigger and bigger between his hands. Genos was a little embarrassed. That's it, but the teacher has achieved success in practice, but no matter how hard I try, I can't be as good as the teacher and Dr. Tao. Really? I'm very sorry. Snymar, Dr. Tao, please guide me in practice. So, that's right. You're not a stupid person like Lu Dan. Isn't it normal that you can't practice? If you can practice, I will doubt whether there is something wrong with the world. However, it's better not to say this kind of thing explicitly to avoid undermining the child's self-confidence. Tao Qian's eyes turned, and he thought of another bad idea. Genos, he said with a serious expression. Cultivation is something that varies from person to person and requires an opportunity. Since you can't be sure which formula is more suitable for you, or maybe neither formula is suitable for you, then you can try both first. Maybe one morning when you wake up, you will feel like you are wrapped up. Then your spirit and your attention will move with a certain rhythm. That rhythm is sometimes fast, sometimes slow, sometimes hot, and sometimes cold. In the end, you will feel the power gushing out of your body, breaking through some obstacles and finding an outlet. At that time, you will probably be able to practice. Don't get me wrong, Tao Qian is talking about serious practice. Genos was immediately grateful. Tao Qian even shared this experience with him. If he can't practice again, then the problem may really be with himself. Red bean paste is so delicious. Chapter 39. Unlike many martial arts schools in Z City, Bongu's dojo is terribly deserted. Only a chicken-headed disciple Chalanzi accompanied him. Old man Bongu, Where's the beef you mentioned? Bring it up quickly. As soon as he entered the door, Lu Dan couldn't wait to shout. Bongu chuckled. I am an old man, and I finally tricked you here. Do you want me to treat you? Okay, beat me first. Unexpectedly, Lu Dan was excited. Rock, paper, scissors? This was the first time Tao Qian saw a fox-like smile on Lu Dan's face. Old man, has no one told you? I, Saitama, am the man known as the king of rock, paper, scissors in the no man's land. For a moment, Lu Dan was domineering, and his face was full of confidence. But even if there are only 5 people in the dojo, there will still be people who spoil the mood. No man's land? Then you are the only one left at most? Chalanzi interrupted. Lu Dan scratched his head in distress. He couldn't explain. There is no point in talking too much. Let's see the truth with our hands. The dim dojo, the hidden master, the weak disciple, the master who came to challenge. For a moment, the whole dojo was filled with a solemn atmosphere. Saitama-kun, do you know who your opponent is today? Bang's vigorous and powerful voice echoed in the empty room. It's Silver Fong, the 3rd S-class hero of the Hero Association, the current master of the flowing water rock-smashing fist. Are you ready? The ancient boxing master was so full of momentum that even Tao Qian couldn't help but look sideways and re-examine the strength of this martial arts master. But Lu Dan was like nothing happened. With a whoosh, he dug out a piece of snot. Old man, let's compete. Stop making such a fuss. The old man and the young man looked at each other and turned their heads away at the same time. The first round begins. Tao Qian, who acted as the referee, announced loudly. Before he started to shout rock, paper, scissors, Lu Dan and Bangu suddenly spoke at the same time. Advertisement this time. I will use fists/paper. What? Both of them were shocked at the same time. This Lu Dan/this old man doesn't look very smart/looks very stupid at first glance. How could he also use this trick? But Tao Qian didn't give them time to think. Rock, scissors, paper. Scissors versus rock. Bangu wins. Round 2. Bangu wins. Bangu wins. Bangu. Lu Dan lost so badly that Tao Qian couldn't bear to watch. Since he doubted himself in the first round, he was led by the old man almost throughout the game. Alas, I should have known that this guy is not very reliable, except for fighting monsters. Seeing that the boiled egg had entered the red temperature state again, Tao Qian winked at the old man. The old man was also a smart man, and naturally he also realized that the boiled egg's mental state was very unstable. Just in case, it's better to let it go. Saitama wins. Ha 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 ha. I won. Come again. Tao Qian looked at the side of Lu Dan and saw that Genos also had a helpless look on his face. What? The old man wants to take us as apprentices? Lu Dan waved his hand nonchalantly, then turned his eyes and said to the side, I'm not interested, Genos, you go. As long as you agree, you won't bother me anymore in the future. But who would have thought that Genos replied very seriously, Teacher, what I want is absolute destructive power, not learning any self-defense skills. It is obvious that neither of them thinks highly of martial arts. One is absolutely confident in his own strength, and the other is simply ignorant. Only Tao Qian thought for a while and said, Why don't you show us Mr. Bang first? Bang is also a smart person, and he knows what they are thinking by looking at their expressions. So he didn't refuse. Okay, let me show you. He was so focused and calm. Suddenly he made a move. In Tao Qian's eyes, the flow of time seemed to slow down, and Bangu's smooth movements had a certain strange rhythm. From a scientific analysis point of view, it was just the swing of his arms within a certain range. Advertisement, but it gave Tao Qian a mysterious feeling. He narrowed his eyes, and the portable AI began to analyze at high speed. The traces of the swing of the elbows just form a perfect circle. The hands are rotating, and the center of gravity of the upper body is constantly moving, but it has never left the scope of the hands. These moves seem weak and powerless, and the arms are swinging at will, but if someone attacks, he can directly take a defensive posture at any time. There is even a stream of air flowing everywhere along the meridians in his hands, assisting attack or defense. Ding! Bango is trying to teach you martial arts, and you can copy the entry, flowing water shattering rocks, purple. Do you want to copy it? Tao Qian would naturally not refuse. Flowing water shattering rocks, purple, a kind of ancient boxing, the origin of which is no longer traceable. It can deflect the attack with a strange force, weaken the attack, and the attack that would cause serious injury or even death if hit head-on will lose its original effect. Although it is only a purple item, the effect is very outstanding. Unlike simply increasing defense and toughness, this martial arts routine is like a superpower psychic shield. As long as it is used properly, it can greatly improve a person's strength in a short period of time. Even if the physique is ordinary, it can be entangled or escape from the wolf and tiger-level monsters. It's not in vain. Tao Qian looked at Bangu with more interest. I remember he also has a breathing method. If you don't have the ability to empty the boiled egg in a short period of time, it seems to be a good choice to get the items of these S-level heroes for free. Tao Qian seemed to have opened up some ideas. He began to consider the feasibility of this situation, but the boiled egg on the side did not think so. Yawn. So boring. What to eat tonight? Lewd Egg looked at Bang's slow movements, his eyes blank, and his soul was flying away. This action obviously aroused the dissatisfaction of Bang's eldest disciple, Chalanzi. Hey, my master is teaching you the secrets of the dojo. You should at least respect him. Bang also stopped at this time. If you are not interested in boxing, Saitama-kun, I have a breathing method here that can practice chi. Chi. Lewd Egg suddenly became energetic. He held his breath and stretched out his hand to gather a spirit bomb in the air. Is it this kind of chi? Bang's face was full of shock. True chi out. Chapter 40. Unlike Tao Qian, who released electromagnetic energy bombs with the power of the word, Lu Dan is a serious release of internal energy. Let's not consider the power and the length of the pre-swing for now. Just talk about this eye-popping operation. It almost made Bang kneel down and become his apprentice. But I don't know if Lu Dan was led astray by Tao Qian. At this moment, his intelligence and brain power seemed to have reached their peak. Ha. Ask me, Saitama, for strength. Otherwise, you will be like Genos, and you can't practice it no matter how hard you try. Genos, thank you. But to be honest, this operation is indeed too bizarre from any angle. As an old martial artist who has practiced hard for a lifetime, Bang easily noticed the clues from the performance of the two. Then, what? Do I have to raise my hands every day and shout for people to lend me their vitality? Whether this way of practice can be successful is another matter, but it's really shameful. The old man is good-looking. At first, he would rather be killed by a meteorite than abandon the dojo, and was called a coward who abandoned his family and career by others. If he really practiced like this, and was seen by others, wouldn't it be embarrassing? But among the 5 people, there will always be a sage. Teacher in your dojo. I am probably the only disciple left. Chalanzi gave an assist at the right time. But he didn't know that as soon as he said this, Bang's eyes became sharp. This disciple. I can't keep him. If I don't expel him, even if I practice secretly in the future, I will be laughed at. But if I expel him, wouldn't it be confirmed that I want to practice secretly? Or find a reason to beat him to death? Bang was not a good person when he was young. At this moment, he even thought of more than 100 silent plans to harm people in his mind. For example, find his old lover when he was young, seduce the disciple, and then catch him in the act. Use the excuse of disobeying orders to directly destroy the other party. For example, let the disciples register for the hero profession that he doesn't think much of. Kill the other party by pretending to be a monster. For example, but then, the alarm bells in his heart rang. He felt that if he really did this, he would probably fall into a bottomless abyss. Advertisement, I'm so old, and I have to make such a choice. It's really embarrassing. Bangu took a long breath, and his expression calmed down. He bowed deeply to Tao Qian and others. Thank you, Dr. Tao and Mr. Saitama, for your selflessness. I just lost my temper. This trip to the dojo ended hastily. No, it doesn't count. After all, Lu Dan came to eat beef. Tao Qian also left Bangu his contact information. In fact, I am also very interested in ancient martial arts. If Mr. Bangu is convenient, you can discuss it with me at any time. Then Tao Qian took a stance, and a few moves of the skilled level of flowing water and rock-breaking fists made Bangu tremble again. What is a genius? I just demonstrated it once. He actually copied it perfectly. With such talent, I am afraid that even my former disciple would find it difficult to catch up. On his way back, Tao Qian suddenly received a call. Ding-ling-ling, hello? Is this Dr. Tao? I am the 3-section stick lily from the Fubuki group. Master Fubuki is in danger. Please come quickly. Nunchaku lily? Tao Qian's mind was filled with the image of a girl with lilies on her head, using nunchakus as weapons. She seemed to be only 14 years old. TSK. She is still young and still doesn't learn well. She is learning to play with lilies. The world is really going downhill. By the way, you didn't even report your location. How can I support you? Tao Qian shook his head and called back, but found that the call was no longer connected. There was no choice but to find the Ing Association and retrieve the action records of the members of the Fubuki group. Then he kicked into the sky and flew towards the target. As the largest small group in the Ing Association, the Fubuki group has become stronger recently. It's not just because they have Fubuki, a famous general, as their team leader. It's not the quick money-making side job of their team leader. It's mainly because Fubuki became rich suddenly after talking about several big deals with Tao Qian in a row. He can even get the water of hope that is limited in supply even in the Ing Association through secret channels. Well, it's the kind of evolution potion that is non-toxic, non-polluting, and has no side effects. It can be called a 3-no product, but it has a very powerful effect. According to the results of the mechanical analysis developed by Child Emperor's recent Hero Physical Datization Plan, advertisement after taking this potion, the data of many heroes have shown temporary growth to varying degrees. And with the appropriate training plan, this growth can even be fixed. I have to say that this is already a miracle drug. For many heroes who do not have superpowers but insist on being human and are unwilling to be mechanized, it is undoubtedly a great blessing. Under this premise, Fubuki, who can obtain additional resources through small paths, naturally becomes a hot commodity in the eyes of middle and lower-level heroes. As the Fubuki group becomes more powerful, their actions become more frequent. Fubuki relies on superpowers, and ordinary tiger-level and wolf-level monsters, as well as B/C level wanted criminals, are naturally easy to catch. But if you walk by the river often, you will get your shoes wet? Hellstorm. As Fubuki, who has a famous general's weapon and a rich granary, activates his superpowers. A strong wind that could lift several tons of objects swept towards the monster. But the next moment, haha, what do you think my fan head is used for? The fan head monster who spoke from nowhere laughed wildly, and then the fan on his head spun violently. A stronger airflow directly blew the wind of Fubuki back. All the members of Fubuki group were blown to the ground. Well, I have become so much stronger, but Fubuki had tears in her eyes and hated her weakness very much. Fortunately, this ghost-level monster named Fan Ghost lacked sharper means of attack besides the strong wind. Under the strong wind, all he could do was to control all the members of Fubuki group in corners and other corners, so that they could not get away. Nunchaku Lily seized the opportunity and called for help. After a while, a voice suddenly came from the sky above the waste gas plant. Hee hee. Then, a dazzling energy ball directly opened a big hole in the ceiling, and it seemed to have eyes, and it rushed straight towards the monster. Sizzle, a strange sound. The whole monster was directly evaporated. Everyone was also rescued. Then, a tall body slowly landed on the ground. Reached out to Fubuki. I said, "Why are you so embarrassed every time I see you?" Chapter 41. None of your business. It seemed that someone had seen her in such a sorry state that Fubuki's expression was very bad. Yes, I know that even if I don't care, your sister will come to save you. Tao Qian had no intention of being gentle with women and continued to provoke her. Fubuki's full granary was fluctuating, and it was obvious that she was already full of anger. If I hadn't been unable to beat her, I would have. Just then, a strong spiritual pressure came from one side. Boom. A sound. The thick cement wall was directly opened by someone. A little girl with short green hair, a cold expression, a long skirt slit to the root of the thigh, and no one knew whether she was wearing panties slowly floated in. Fubuki, how long are you going to show off? But when she entered the house, her eyes suddenly became sharp. Tao Qian, the little fist slowly clenched. Why is it you again? Why are you everywhere? To be honest, Tao Qian likes and enjoys the feeling of being stared at by women. Unless the other party is on top. Oh no, it's not impossible to go up there. As long as it's not too high, it should be at least half a head taller than me. Even the bare pattern inside is faintly visible. It's really too dishonest. With her strength, is she still afraid of being seen? Tao Qian exerted a little force on his hand, and Fubuki was involuntarily taken into his arms. The strong masculine breath instantly filled her nostrils. Her other hand also subconsciously hugged Tao Qian's male waist. This scene made Tornado's eyes burst. The veins on the two small fists were exposed, as if they would attack at the next moment. Tao Qian was not panicked at all. Tornado, I saved Fubuki just now. When she was in danger, you, who claimed to be protecting your sister, why didn't you show up in the first time? The magnetic voice made Fubuki more obsessed, and also further added to Tornado's anger. She knew that Tao Qian was making excuses, but she couldn't refute it. But Given her strength, why bother to refute? Blizzard, come back here right now. Tornado held out his hand from above. A strong pressure instantly appeared on Tao Qian and everyone in the warehouse. Hua la la. Except for Tao Qian and Blizzard in the middle, all the others were blown against the wall and fainted. Tao Qian, I want you to let go, right? Tornado was already furious, and his tone was full of chill. But Tao Qian seemed to have heard nothing. Not only did he not let go, but he even put his other hand directly around Blizzard's waist. Advertisement, he even pinched and patted her in front of Tornado. Blizzard's body suddenly trembled, and then softened again. Only Tao Qian felt that she seemed to be holding him tighter. Sometimes I really feel strange. You two are actually sisters. One has such a good touch, but the other, Before Tao Qian finished speaking, he felt the pressure in front of him suddenly increase. At the same time, Tornado in the sky grabbed with his other hand. Fubuki felt it more clearly. A strong grip that she could never resist grabbed her, trying to force her out of Tao Qian's arms, pulling her towards the sky. But Tao Qian held her very tightly, and the two forces tore with her as the center. She opened her mouth to say something, but found that she was no longer able to make any sound. Tao Qian's sense was still more acute, and he let Fubuki go with one hand. Tornado, Fubuki is your sister. You will hurt her if you do this. Tornado's arrogant voice came from above. Tao Qian, this is a battle between you and me. I just don't want her to be your bargaining chip to resist me. As Fubuki was pulled to another position by her. One high and one low. One small and one big. Two bodies stood facing each other. A battle was about to break out. I'm going to twist you into a dough twist. Tornado pushed with both hands. A light flashed in his hands, and a surge of power descended on Tao Qian. Along with it, there were waves of telekinetic force field shocks. If it were anyone else, even an ordinary dragon-level monster, in the face of this move, there would definitely be little power to fight back. Either the strength was consumed in resisting the pressure, and the telekinetic shock was beaten into a sack, or it was focused on resisting the telekinetic force and was wrapped up by the pressure and twisted into a knot. But Tao Qian was different. His expression was solemn. His body still swayed slowly. He subconsciously used the flowing rock-smashing fist that he got from Bongu Dojo in the morning. The fist was like a stream, and the momentum was like a torrent. Not only did he show no pressure under the super energy storm, he could even use the airflow brought by the fist to reversely wrap the telekinetic shock and let them cancel each other out. What? Is this Bongu's old man's boxing? It's a bit troublesome. As the second S-level hero, Tornado was naturally no stranger to Bongu, who was the third. Before, she had also tried to test the other party. It was also easily resolved by Bongu with the flowing rock-smashing fist. No, that's not right. Tao Qian's response seemed to be more relaxed than Bongu's. Damn it. Is he going to summon a meteorite to kill him? While Tornado was thinking wildly, Tao Qian, who was in the center of the storm, seemed to have returned to an experience in the past. Advertisement the days when he took old men and women to practice Tai Chi at the Elderly Activity Center. Slow and slow, his whole body seemed to be immersed in the water, and countless fish followed the undercurrent to attack him. One grab, one release, one retraction, one push. Easily resolved. Before he knew it, he had already entered a state of unity between man and nature. Even before he knew it, he had already mastered the initiative of this fight. A huge force field vortex spread out with Tao Qian as the center. In the blink of an eye, Tornado was rolled in. Tornado was anxious and felt the changes in the surrounding environment. But it was too late. The vortex of Tao Qian's position engulfed her and continued to output superpowers. She only felt that her power was constantly being output, but the other side seemed to be another black hole. Even she herself could not move except for releasing her power. Tao Qian, what did you do? Panic. Powerless. This was a feeling she had never had since she was rescued from the Udo organization by the explosion. She felt like she had entered a big millstone. If she was not careful, she would be crushed to pieces. She actually participated in making that millstone. Will she die here today? Tornado suddenly grinned. Well, anyway, in this world, except for her benefactor and sister, everyone regarded her as a monster. Her benefactor was missing. Her sister was still hostile to her. I am afraid she doesn't even have a close person. It's a pity that she won't see the day when her sister gets married. Suddenly, the roar of Fubuki sounded on the side. Doctor, wake up. Stop it. And Tao Qian at this time. In the haze, it seemed that he saw Fubuki working hard under him, looking up and shouting something at him. Haha, hallucination. Wake up. Wake up. He suddenly woke up. The vortex of his position disappeared instantly. Then, a green, light body fell straight from the sky. Tao Qian subconsciously caught her. Pinch. F***K, a man. Chapter 42. Dr. Tao, my sister? Fubuki looked at the man in front of her with a very complicated look. Just a few months ago, he was just a young man who had to rely on himself to pass by and rescue him to escape from the hands of a monster. In just a few months, he has transformed himself into an important figure who is better than the Hero Association, although he has not joined the Hero Association. So much so that she has to rely on the kindness of the other party to live the life of brand-name clothing and luxury cars that she dreams of. I don't know when it started. Every time Fubuki sees the other party, she feels her heartbeat speeding up. She doesn't understand what this is. Can it be eaten? Can it make her defeat her sister who looks down on her? In the past, she knew it was difficult. So she created the B-level enthusiast club, Fubuki Group, trying to grow into someone who makes her sister look at her with a sidelong glance through the power of the group. Well, I can only say that dreams still need to be had. But Tao Qian gave her a big surprise next. Evolution potion, or the kind that has beauty effects. Can superpowers be improved after birth? Yes, but she lacked confidence when facing Tao Qian. What else does she have besides a large granary, a delicate face, and a slim figure? In fact, she didn't understand. The above is actually enough. Don't worry, she's just exhausted. Tao Qian came back to his senses and looked at Fubuki with a strange look. Oh, what did she do in the hallucination just now? Indescribable. Tao Qian threw the airport in his hand to Fubuki. Only then did he notice the entry of the fan ghost. Harness the power of wind, purple. Deal with the enemy by rolling up a strong wind. Wind affinity increases by 50%, which can create a huge wind force that can blow 10 tons of weight, and at the same time lacks the means of compression. Mechanical reassembly, blue. Even if it is divided into several large pieces, or even a piece is missing, it can be reassembled and reborn. The premise is that it is not broken too much. Two not-so-good entries. But the purple entry just happens to perfectly cover the effect of Fubuki's superpower, and the effect is even stronger. If I give it to myself, I can only use it to clean the dust in the house. But if I give it to the girl on the opposite side, it may make her superpower more powerful. The key is how to give it. What kind of relationship should I give it to? He doesn't have the habit of letting people get it for free. Advertisement at this time. The pleasant prompt sound rang again. Ding. After a hard and arduous battle, you defeated the second-ranked hero in the S position, Tornado of Trembling. Do you want to randomly copy the entry on the other party? Nonsense. Do you still need to consider it? Of course. Ding. Copy successfully. You get the entry. Psychokinesis. Gold. Damn. 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 One shot hits the soul. Single draw out gold. Psychokinesis. Gold. Innate powerful mental power can interfere with reality more deeply at the physical level. The description is short, and the effect is very strong. Tao Qian closed his eyes and felt that the whole world had changed. It was different from the attachment to the earth he had when he obtained the Earth Apostle. The feeling given to him by the telekinesis was that everything in the world had turned into lines and patterns. In his eyes, the building in the distance was nothing more than an ink painting drawn with a few strokes. It seemed that as long as he moved his mind, the fortress made of reinforced concrete could be twisted, reversed, or even rolled into a ball. He could make it round or flat. In his eyes, Tornado, Fubuki and others in front of him also became some kind of moving objects made up of several different color blocks. If he had obsessive-compulsive disorder, maybe he would consider splicing the same colors on the objects together. Well, in that case, the people would definitely be gone. This is an inhuman perspective. Tao Qian forcibly suppressed the mentality of playfulness and frolicking. After trying hard to suppress it, his perspective finally returned to normal. When he looked at Fubuki again, he found that she was blocking Tornado and looking at him vigilantly. Tao Jun, what's wrong with you? Your eyes were so scary just now. Tao Qian didn't explain too much to her. Instead, he asked, what kind of scene do you see when you use your superpowers? What? Fubuki was full of doubts. What do you mean by what kind of scene do you see? Damn, I forgot that she was semi-illiterate. Tao Qian took a lot of effort to explain to her clearly, asking her to describe whether her feeling about the world would change when she activated her superpowers. No, it's normal. I just feel like the airflow around me is real. That means everything is normal in their eyes. Does that mean I'm not normal? Of course I'm not normal. Advertisement, but what's wrong with me? Tao Qian's first thought was, Earth Apostle. This universal auxiliary item has a bonus effect on most of his items. TSK. Could it be that my superpowers are stronger than tornadoes now? This may be true. Temporarily suppressing his doubts about the new power, Tao Qian looked up and saw Fubuki still looking at Tornado with worry. Your sister is fine. She's just exhausted. Come back to the lab with me, give her an injection, and she'll be alive and kicking immediately. In theory, Tornado's superpowers are extremely powerful. It's impossible to use up her abilities with ordinary means. However, this semi-illiterate person is just wasting his abilities. He doesn't understand science at all. Tao Qian defeated him with the vortex driven by the flowing water rock-smashing fist. It can be considered a victory of science. By the way, call the Hero Association and ask them to take your team members back for treatment. They came out to fight monsters, but they all ended up in the ICU. You, the team leader. Alas. Fubuki was scolded so much that she didn't dare to look up, but just silently followed Tao Qian with Tornado in her arms. Although she formed the Fubuki group, but for a long time, she also felt extremely tired. The strong heroes looked down on her small group. The weak heroes couldn't help much, but just wanted to come in and hug their thighs. She shouted that the big sister led the way, but who knows what she was thinking in her heart. As a superpower, Fubuki not only has enough strength to gain a foothold in the A level, at the same time, her 5 senses are also different from ordinary people's sharpness. During this period, the Fubuki group was not smooth sailing. After all, the benefits obtained from Tao Qian could not benefit everyone fairly. Apart from anything else, she consumed more than half of it herself. Her confidence also had almost no management ability. During this period, many people joined and many people left. She was very tired. She also wanted to find a warm embrace to lean on. Stand firm. I'm going to take off. Tao Qian's voice came from beside her. Then Fubuki felt her body clear, and a familiar sense of weightlessness came. She forgot that she was still holding Tornado, and she didn't stand firm for a while, and her hands grabbed around her randomly. Hey, where are you grabbing your hands? Chapter 43. Early morning. The morning sun shines on Tornado's face. Ha, I slept so well. It's so happy to have no phone calls to disturb me in the morning. Her 2 small arms were raised in a big letter, but she jumped up like a cat with its fur standing on end. What is this place? Although the big bed is very soft, the pink decoration is also very cute. But this is not her little nest. What happened yesterday? I think Fubuki is injured. I'll go save her. Did you find her with a nasty man? Man? Yes. Man. She remembered everything instantly. Tao Qian. Her superpowers burst out instantly. The pink holographic projection in the room was directly washed to pieces. What appeared in front of Tornado was a bare, smooth, pure white wall. It was full of technology. It just didn't look good. Shua, a door suddenly opened on one side of the wall. At the door, the tall Tao Qian was holding the red-faced blowing snow. The two walked in together. Hey, the little devil who never grows up has woken up? Tao Qian opened his mouth and successfully provoked Tornado's anger. Who are you calling a little devil? Tornado's whole body exuded a green light. The violent superpower seemed to have found its target. Endless pressure directly grasped Tao Qian. It seemed that he would be twisted into a dough in the next moment. Heh, so easily angered. And you still say it's not a little devil? Tao Qian's response today was more at ease. A flash of light flashed in his eyes. A superpower fluctuation that was no less than Tornado emanated from him. Even this superpower faintly suppressed Tornado. What? Are you also a superpower user? Tornado was shocked. How could you be stronger than me? She couldn't accept this cruel reality for a while. All along, superpowers have been her biggest and only reliance. No one in this world is stronger than me. She firmly believed that her superpowers could solve all problems. If they can't be solved, then increase the intensity. Advertisement, but at this moment, a man she usually looked down upon. Experience has superpowers stronger than her own. Tornado's world collapsed. At this moment, she even recalled the past. When she was 7 or 8 years old, abandoned by her biological parents, sold to a mysterious research institute by her adoptive parents. Her brain was subjected to inhumane research every day. That experience made her hate the so-called scientists and laboratories. So, when Tao Qian appeared beside her sisters, especially beside Fubuki, Tornado's reaction was so great. No. Impossible. You were definitely not a superpower before. What did you do to me? Tornado was running wild, with murderous intent in his eyes. Before today, Tao Qian had never shown his superpowers. Even when he first knew him, he escaped from the attack of the monster with the help of Fubuki. So where did his superpowers come from? Tornado knows there is only one place that can create superpowers. You do. The organization that locked her in a cage and used electric shock equipment to study her every day. That organization is back. Not only did he target himself, but also his sister. She would never allow it. Die. Die. It was as if a dragon was turning over. The entire laboratory, and even City Z, were shaking violently. It seemed that the next moment, the entire surface of the Earth would break away from the Earth's crust. Under this powerful spiritual pressure, people within a radius of dozens of miles felt as if they were pressed by the weight of a mountain. And Tornado, who was at the center of the psychic storm, her entire pupil had turned pure green. It meant that she had almost lost her mind. Then, pop! Tao Qian went straight through her psychic shield, and a head slammed into her forehead. Under the powerful superpower, there was a fragile body comparable to that of an ordinary person. Tornado fainted instantly. She was held in the arms of Fubuki, who came quickly. Doctor. My sister. Oh, I'm so sorry. Fubuki's face was still flushed, and she looked at Tao Qian evasively. Although the two did not have a good thing last night. But by observing Tornado's condition, Tao Qian did enjoy enough benefits. Until now, Fubuki's head is still a little dizzy, and she feels like she is walking on cotton. After all, people with superpowers are more sensitive. Advertisement. It seems that the effect of the potion is good. She recovered quickly, and her superpowers are a little stronger than before. Tao Qian listened to the alarms in the city outside, smiled bitterly, and shook his head. Then he looked at Fubuki. When you can provide a solidification effect, you will be one step closer to your dream of surpassing Tornado. No love words can catch up with the lethality of this sentence. Fubuki was moved to tears. Tao Jun, you. I will never forget the scene when you stood in front of me before my ability awakened. The air was suddenly filled with the sour smell of pity. Another cry came from the door. Erika walked in with her hips twisted. She silently glared at Fubuki, and then looked at Tornado's airport with disdain. She came to Tao Qian with her granary. Master. Doctor, the Hero Association called to ask if there was any disaster just now, and invited you to leave City Z and live in City A. They also asked about Miss Tornado's whereabouts, saying that they couldn't get through to her on the phone. I only heard that she came to see you yesterday. Erika looked at Tornado again, took out her phone, and compared it with the photo. When she looked at Tao Qian again, her eyes were full of admiration. The master is really indifferent to the cold, and he can even do this to a child. Doctor, do you want me to help you reject them? She suggested. Tao Qian did not deny it. After sending away the secretary who wanted to listen to gossip, Tornado also slowly woke up. Before she could get angry, Tao Qian used his superpowers to restrain her first. Ahem. Listen carefully, Tornado. What you think has nothing to do with me. I wanted to study you before. It was indeed my fault. I can guarantee that I won't have similar thoughts in the future. Blink if you understand. Tornado blinked frantically. Very good. I can tell you one more thing. Tao Qian touched her short green hair. It feels good. Like the hair of a short-haired cat. My latest research is close to success. It can enhance a person's mental strength. It's a superpower for you. Most importantly, it should also promote secondary development. Tao Qian squatted in front of Tornado, smiling like a deceiving devil. You don't want to be like a child forever, making your sister worry about you. After all, you are almost 30. You are an old girl. Chapter 44. Tornado's superpowers are very useful. For several days, Tao Qian kept trying. Telekinesis, mental shock, super shield, psychic chain, superpower binding, energy acceleration, and so on. At the same time, he went to the flowing water rock shattering dojo. With the secretly filmed scene of Bang shouting, "People on Earth, lend me your vitality," plus Bang's half-hearted reluctance. Successfully obtained the skill entry, Just Awaken Breathing Method, Orange. Just Awaken Breathing Method, Orange. Ancient martial artists discovered that by adjusting the breathing rhythm, the body can be more in line with nature, and eventually achieve the so-called unity of man and nature. Activating the breathing method can greatly improve the body's various qualities, reactions, damage and recovery speed within a quarter of an hour. Very powerful skill entry. Moreover, because of different types, it can continue to stack attributes with other entries. Combined with entries such as Earth Moon Guardian, Super Strong Warrior, purple, and Superman Potential, purple, etc. When the firepower is fully opened, it is equivalent to the power of dozens of Tao Qian superimposed together. I wonder which one is better than Boros in the energy release state? Tao Qian opened the attribute bar with ease. Name, Tao Qian, race, human/evolved, disaster level, dragon peak, kill points, 26,814, follower, Mosquito Girl, entries, Earth and Moon Guardian, gold, psychokinesis, gold, just awaken breathing method, orange, extreme survival, orange, super strong warrior, purple, Superman potential, purple, environmental perception, purple, energy storm, purple, guardian transformation, purple, gap wandering, purple, amazing wisdom, purple, electric shock boy, blue, entry library, expand. Well, the quality and quantity of the monsters we have conquered recently have declined. As a result, the speed of obtaining kill points has also decreased. According to Tao Qian's estimation, it is likely that the underground of City Z, Sykes, has exerted his strength. The Monster Association is accumulating strength and waiting for the opportunity. And this opportunity seems to be not far away. But for Tao Qian, this period of time is very difficult to endure. He wanted to upgrade the Earth Moon Guardian, gold, again. But it requires a full 40,000 kill points. I want to curse. How many monsters do I have to kill? The wolf level only gives a few dozen to 100 points. The tiger level gives 200 to 400 points. The ghost level gives 500-1500 points. Even the dragon level and Monster Association Cadre level monsters, like Meow Meow, who is a dragon, only have 7,500 points. Damn, why is the world of One Punch Man not the kind of apocalyptic world where monsters crawl around and monsters run rampant? Damn, even the kill points have to be accumulated slowly. Advertisement, huh? Let's see if there is a chance to continue to travel through the world in the future. And now, he can only wait for the seafood pot and the aliens. Tao Qian looked at the blue sky through the dome. Damn, come on. I can't wait any longer. The Hero Association is in a meeting. These mortal cadres seem to have endless meetings. It seems that no matter what the topic is, a large group of people will be called into the meeting room. And the topics are all kinds of strange, including but not limited to the movie starring the C-position hero in the hero group scheduled to debut this year, project preparation work. How to persuade Tornado to shoot AI advertisements work. About the start of the hero real estate project partner recruitment work. About the strengthening of the hero behavior code jointly signed by Sweet Mask and the head of the hero discipline supervision section, acting a Cosmo work. About the approval of the collective response of B and C level heroes to increase wages work. Oh no. The last issue of salary increase has been rejected in advance. So, the meeting room that seems to never be empty. The quarrel that seems to never stop echoes. It seems to have become some kind of weird talk within the association. The Monster Association is also in a meeting. Thanks to Tornado's previous reaction that was too intense. The underground fortress of the Monster Association has collapsed in many places. Big had to send many monsters to plug the loopholes everywhere. The most important task is to open up the passage from the Monster Association to the underground mine as soon as possible. That is one of the important sources of income for the Monster Association, S**X. Well, another source of income is to provide the flesh and blood cells of failed monsters to Tao Qian's laboratory under the name of a third party. This, after all, resources cannot be wasted. After all, Lord Wang Dash is so gluttonous, and he has to split monster cells every day. At the same time, the cultivation of monster cells requires a huge amount of nutrients. These are all bought from human society. In the Hero Association, Tornado's instability has posed a great threat to us. I hope someone can volunteer to help the association solve this problem. Big leaned on the soft sofa, looking at the hundreds of weirdos sitting in the hall. Advertisement. Which idiot has been disobedient recently? Then, she fell in love with the awakened cockroach at first sight. This bug is disgusting to look at. It's you. Awakened cockroach. This task is handed over to you. No problem. Awakened cockroach. If it has watched the Dragon Country TV series, it will definitely have an impression of a famous scene. Ben Borba, go and get rid of Tang Sang and his disciples. Saitama House. It seems that all the weirdos have disappeared recently. So boring. Lu Dan stretched and looked out the window boredly. And behind him, Genos had a weird posture, as if he was doing some kind of ritual. He lit an incense burner towards the boiled egg. Then he put his hands on his forehead, bent his upper body, and pressed it to the ground. Saitama teacher on earth, please, please lend me your vitality. Saitama teacher on earth. On earth. He did this for 100 times in a row. He changed direction. He changed his posture. He held the sky with both hands. People on earth. Laboratory. With dark circles under his eyes, Genos knocked on the door of Tao Qian's office excitedly. Dr. Tao, there is new progress in the experiment. On the sea, waves rose suddenly. Huge black shadows seemed to appear one after another underwater, swimming quickly towards the distant land. Chapter 45. City Z. A giant octopus-headed monster crawled out of the sea and was destroying the streets crazily. Human, if you don't want to be killed, listen carefully. I am a messenger from the deep sea. Leave the ground to our deep sea tribe. And you humans, ha ha ha, just exist as our food. Bang! After a flash of white light, the monster disappeared directly above the waist. Then another flash of white light evaporated the rest of the monster. Saitama-kun, I won this time. Tao Qian stood on a tall building and said with a relaxed look. Next to him, Lu Dan looked furious and waved his fist at Tao Qian. What? I just can't adapt to the new moves. Wait for me for another day. Oh no, 2 days, oh no. In short, I will definitely defeat you. Humph. Tao Qian shrugged and confirmed seemingly unintentionally. So, Saitama-kun, are you admitting that you lost to me? Today's record is 4 o'clock. Combining the record of the past few days, it has reached 19:0, Saitama-kun. According to Lu Dan's suggestion, the two decided to use Genkiden to eliminate the monster. Unfortunately, after Tao Qian copied the superpower term, the energy bomb was almost instantaneous. How could Lu Dan, who needs to charge, compare? Lu Dan put his hands on his waist, his chest heaving, and after a while, he was still like a deflated ball. If you lose, you lose. As soon as he finished speaking, a beautiful voice rang in Tao Qian's ears. Ding, you defeated Saitama and can randomly copy an entry belonging to him. Yes. Ding. Congratulations, you have obtained the entry. Saitama Spirit Bomb, Blue. MMP. Tao Qian finally knew what it meant to be trapped in one's own trap. Saitama Spirit Bomb, Blue. Transport the energy in the body out of the body to form an energy ball to attack the enemy. The charging time is 0.5 s. If you feel bored while charging, you can shout, Saitama on the earth, please, please lend me your energy, to pass the time. At this time, Tao Qian's mood could not be described by a word of wow. He wanted to be quiet. Lu Dan didn't seem to notice Tao Qian's state. He stared at the octopus tentacles scattered on the ground, thinking. Then he asked to the side, Genos, how about we eat takoyaki tonight? Genos, who had no sense of existence. Why don't you just say you want to eat monsters? Monster attacks come and go quickly. Ever since Lu Dan learned the so-called spirit bomb, he has been determined not to wash clothes anymore. However, this certainly saved Genos the time to wash clothes for Lu Dan. But because it was a long-range attack, many merits lacked effective witnesses and were in vain. Lu Dan therefore remained at sea level, although he didn't care about it. After copying the Saitama Spirit Bomb entry, advertisement Tao Qian didn't want to continue competing with Lu Dan and killing monsters. He was a little autistic. It was a new morning again. J City. When the cows and horses were enjoying their busy work, there were always some people who made their lives peaceful for them. On the warm beach, many handsome men and beautiful women were basking in the sun. Suddenly, a large group of bubbles gurgled out of the sea. Splash! It seemed that something was moving under the sea. I saw several huge monsters with squid heads, strange fish heads, crab heads, and shrimp heads rushing out of the sea. From now on, we, the deep sea people, will rule the ground. Resistance is useless. Accompanied by the terrified scream of a rich girl with a large granary, the monsters began to destroy everywhere, wantonly venting their desire for destruction. From time to time, nearby heroes came to support. Unfortunately, J City, located in the northeast of the supercontinent, is not a densely populated city. It is a seasonal tourist city. There is only one A-level hero, Stinger, stationed there. Most of the others are B-level and C-level heroes. It's like one comes and one goes. And Stinger's condition is also very bad. At this time, he is already bruised and swollen, and his physical strength is on the verge of overdrawn. But he can't retreat. The civilian area is behind. Haha, you are quite durable. The slippery fish tribe. My precious spear bamboo shoot is also very excited to fight with so many guys. His fight was not without results. At least several tiger and wolf-level monsters have fallen around him. At present, there are only 4 enemies left in front of him. He held the bamboo spear tightly and roared in a low voice. Roar! Bamboo shoot! Look at me piercing with a tidal wave. 4 consecutive piercings. Using the bamboo spear to gain momentum, he jumped high and swung the bamboo spear quickly. With lightning speed, he opened a big hole in each of the 4 monsters in front of him. Hoo-hoo, is it over? Standing among the monster's broken limbs and arms, the poisonous stinger raised the bamboo spear. Ha ha ha, I succeeded. So many monsters with disaster levels almost as high as gods were defeated by me alone. The victorious poisonous stinger began to get complacent again out of habit. The next moment, bang, a muffled sound. A huge fist hit him directly in the lower abdomen. Hey, you make me very unhappy. Can you die? A weirdo who looks closer to human form than other deep-sea people suddenly appeared on the street. With one blow, the stinger was seriously injured. At this time, Lu Dan is still on the way. Advertisement bang, another muffled sound. The A-level hero Lightning Max who came to support was punched hundreds of meters away. Defeated. Angel transformation. The S-level hero Sexy Prisoner who escaped from a nearby prison roared. Angel random strike. Countless fist shadows fell on the weirdo. But when the move ended, the weirdo was unscathed, and then he defeated the Sexy Prisoner with a flurry of punches. At this time, Lu Dan is still on the way. Don't worry, the shelter has undergone many transformations and is absolutely safe. The staff in the shelter are still trying their best to calm the panic of the people. The next moment, boom, a loud noise. A big hole was directly opened in the reinforced concrete wall of the shelter. The Deep Sea King, who had recovered from the rain, walked in with a grin. At this time, Lu Dan was riding the bicycle of the unlicensed knight and was still on the way. In front of the J-City shelter, Genos was almost torn apart. Fortunately, he was a mechanical cyborg. As long as the energy core of his brain and chest was not damaged, he would not die. But he was already at his limit. At this time, Lu Dan had already gotten off the unlicensed knight's car. Still on the way. The Deep Sea King, who defeated 2 S-class heroes in succession, was extremely rampant. The unlicensed knight who tried hard to stop him was lying on the ground before he could even meet him. Facing the crowd in the shelter, it stretched out its long tongue and licked the corner of its mouth. Surrender? Hee hee. Whether you surrender or not, you will die. I will kill you all. The Deep Sea King laughed. He enjoyed the feeling of playing with his prey very much. But when it was still thinking about how to cruelly play with the prey in front of it to death, a voice suddenly came from behind it. What a coincidence. I have the same attitude towards you weirdos. Who? The Deep Sea King turned his head suddenly. I saw a tall figure floating quietly in the air behind him, staring at it with disdain. At this time, the boiled egg was still on the way. Chapter 46. Detected that the following entries can be plundered. Sea King, pollution. Deep Sea adaptation, purple. Sea humanization, blue. Electric eel tongue, blue. Acidic saliva, blue. You successfully plundered the entry, Deep Sea adaptation, purple. Deep Sea adaptation, purple. You can freely roam in the deep sea and shallow waters, offsetting the impact of 1,100 atmospheres of pressure. The Deep Sea King has many entries, but most of them are related to various marine life, which is almost useless to Tao Qian. Only this entry that can help people live under the sea caught Tao Qian's attention. Undersea adaptation? Since ancient times, humans have been full of imagination about the sky, underground, and the seabed. With the advancement of technology, humans have gradually realized the appearance of space and the appearance of the Earth's underground. But it is still difficult to completely conquer the deep sea. It is not just humans who find it difficult to survive in it. The main reason is that with the current technology of human beings, it is difficult to create a cheap living space that can withstand pressures of up to thousands of atmospheres. But this deep sea adaptation, purple, and Sea Clan King, pollution, brought Tao Qian new ideas and plans. However, this plan is destined to last for a long time, so let's put it aside for now. The first thing Tao Qian has to face is some heroes, or people who come to seek help. Please sit down, Mr. Jetman. Tao Qian politely asked the man in front of him to sit opposite. At the same time, he also looked up and down at this 2-week mechanical transformation man. Jetman. He is just an ordinary person who wants to be a hero very much, but has not been able to achieve it due to insufficient strength. Fortunately, he later won the lottery, so he found an organization to do mechanization transformation for himself. Unfortunately, the organization he found was just a fake organization with a lot of advertising. After he was cheated of all the money he won, he was only listed as a B-level hero. TSK. He is the worst cyborg. Advertisement in the world of One Punch Man, there are actually quite a few cyborgs. The most famous one is the legendary Genos, the unbeatable warrior. There is also Metal Knight Bofoy. Although he almost always controls robots to fight remotely, he actually transformed himself. The cadre of the Neo Heroes organization, Vibigesa, who will appear later. This super popular idol, because of jealousy of Kamen Rider, took the initiative to apply for experimental transformation and finally became a biochemical robot with a transformation ratio of 71%. Destro and Ely Min, who also belong to the Neo Heroes organization. These two are tower guards of the Neo Heroes organization, part-time operators who control defaulters, with body transformation rates of 94% and 95% respectively. It is almost equivalent to keeping only one brain. Finally, there is the Jet Man in front of you. The transformation rate is unknown, but it seems not high. Weak strength, although a cyborg, but still can only use fists to fight monsters. Dr. Tao, we met before in J City. The jet-like man spoke with a nervous mood, a little uneasiness and fear. Don't be anxious, talk slowly. Erica, serve the guest a cup of coffee. Looking at the beautiful female secretary twisting her hips, the man's soul was almost hooked out. Dr. Tao, it's like this. I heard that you have a potion that can enhance strength. Tao Qian listened to him quietly, and then rejected him without hesitation. Sorry, Mr. Jetman. Our laboratory has reached an exclusive cooperation with the Hero Association. You are also a hero who fights to protect people. According to the regulations, you are eligible to apply for potions. There is no need to come to me. After hearing this, Jetman's face showed a very complicated look. Dr. Tao, you don't know that as a B-level hero, if I hadn't fought side by side with Mr. Snake a few days ago, entered the ICU together, and lived in the next bed, I don't even have the qualifications to know the existence of potions. He became more and more excited as he spoke, and kept squeezing the cup with force, making it creak. Doctor, I'm just an ordinary person. I won the lottery by chance and was cheated. I have nothing now, but I have determination and courage. If the doctor is willing to give me a chance, even if I am a test subject, it doesn't matter. Please, doctor. But Tao Qian, who was sitting opposite the man, was not moved. He just snapped his fingers lightly. Erica, the visiting time is up. Please come back next time after making an appointment. Then, a man was forcibly taken away from the laboratory by the 1.8-meter-tall female secretary. Advertisement. Tao Qian was left standing in front of the window, watching the outside world silently. It is not difficult to guess that his invention is monopolized by the top leaders of the association. For the association, B-level heroes like Chongtian Man and more C-level heroes are more tool-oriented. Tools only need to do the work. Why do they know so much? At the same time, most S-level heroes have their own lives and careers, and there are not many who are willing to listen to the instructions of the association. Therefore, the focus of the association is to win over A-level heroes. They have strength, but not that strong. They have a goal to improve themselves and are willing to fight for hero points and benefits. This is of course not surprising. It's just this kind of situation. Tiske. No wonder they were squeezed by the Neo Heroes organization later. Tao Qian stood in front of the window and took a sip of coffee. At this time, the sound of the office door opening came from behind. Erica walked in. Master, there is a person outside who claims to be the leader of the Ice-Sky reincarnation cult, asking for an audience. Ice-Sky reincarnation cult? Hellfire Sniff, a cadre who was tricked into Neo Heroes. Later, because of injury, he was transformed, and the whole foundation was swallowed up by Neo Heroes? Then let's meet. Chapter 47. Hello, Dr. Tao. I'm Hellfire Sniff. The man who came was a charlatan, who looked very charlatan from his attire to his expression. Beside him, there was another burly man with a face full of flesh. He also introduced himself to Tao Qian. Hello, Dr. Tao. I'm Lu Ming from Lu Ming Group. Tao Qian raised his eyebrows. I didn't expect that these two guys would have hooked up at this time. But think about it. A shoe cult and a vibrant social group are really a good match. After shaking hands, the two handed over a business card. The person who introduced us is Mr. Zeditz. Hey, the three unlucky guys are all here. According to Erica's whispered introduction, Zeditz is a wealthy entrepreneur and one of the investors in a research project in the laboratory. Well, a very small project. The leader is even that gorilla. F***K. Tao Qian didn't know that the gorilla with a hollowed-out brain actually had this ability. Master, they are all former investors and partners of Dr. Genos. They have provided financial support to the House of Evolution for a long time. Erica continued to explain. After Dr. Genos joined the laboratory, the project at the House of Evolution was suspended. But the Master's research results gave Dr. Genos a lot of confidence, so he introduced people to me? Tao Qian asked. Yes, Dr. Genos was responsible for providing them with a kind of vitality potion and energy potion. Tao Qian waved his hand to interrupt her. It's the excitement base and the Tsubaki medicine, right? Erica was a little embarrassed, but still nodded. Yes, Master. Damn. Genos, I didn't expect you to have thick eyebrows and big eyes. You turned out to be a fake drug dealer. Then just tell them directly that I don't do this kind of small business. Tao Qian thought they came to volunteer to be test subjects, being happy for a long time. Master, they learned about the evolution potion through unknown channels and wanted to buy it. Evolution potion again. How come the whole world knows about it overnight? Tao Qian frowned. This hero association is really a sieve. Find a reason to send them away. I don't like to be associated with such people, Tao Qian ordered. The world of One Punch Man is essentially an ordinary world with a complete worldview, except for monsters and heroes. So in addition to the Hero Association and the Monster Association, which are absolutely opposite organizations, naturally, there are many large and small forces. Big conglomerates, big companies, shoe cults, vibrant social groups, and all living beings. In addition to the reincarnation in another world, there are even monster worship cult, association for surrender to monsters, etc. Among them, this reincarnation in another world is considered to be a relatively large scale. It has at least 3 million believers. That is 3 million leaks. As the leader, Hellfire Snef made a lot of money through the selfless dedication of his followers. Compared with the previous 30-odd members of the Fubuki group, in addition to Fubuki wearing branded clothes, even the cars they used for travel were rented second-hand cheap goods. Of course, the current Fubuki has greatly eased the financial situation of the Fubuki group by selling her body to Tao Qian. They can even provide certain benefits to the members. But at its core, it is still just the B-level enthusiasts club mentioned by Tornado. After leaving the Hero Association, they are completely in the dark. Let's stop talking nonsense. The two people who came to visit did not get angry after hearing the reason why Erica sent them away. Instead, they politely handed over their business cards and asked Erica about any projects in the laboratory that urgently needed funds. The Hellfire Snef also patted his chest and vowed that if there was a lack of volunteers, he would have plenty. Countless kind-hearted men and women who were defrauded of their property by him, in addition to working and donating every day, only have one life left to continue to contribute. Advertisement, damn. What a scumbag. Such a person has not yet become a monster. Where is justice? In front of the silver-gray test bench, Genos is staring at the monitor intently, watching the mechanical arm peel off the skin of the monster on the stage bit by bit, revealing the bright red muscle tissue, green blood vessels, and brain matter that is sticky into a mass of unknown substance. When Tao Qian came behind him, he pressed the pause button. I didn't expect the Hero Association to be more evil than I thought. Genos' smile was very strange, with helplessness, joy, and sadness. Tao Qian shrugged. You think too much. These are all test subjects selected by Metal Knight. As far as I know, the association used to raise and imprison these monsters. It was for Metal Knight to use them to test the power of weapons. It's not the same as you think. Hee. Dr. Genos shook his head. Whatever they did with the monsters before, aren't they using them to realize their illusory ambitions now? Tao Qian was speechless. Dr. Genos continued to sigh. Hee. They are just a group of mortals who are as cowardly as mice. They actually want to get involved in the power of gods without paying the price. How ignorant and fearless. No, you, a crazy scientist who created monsters, actually have the nerve to say this? Seeing Tao Qian's strange eyes, Dr. Genos shrugged meaninglessly. Let's not talk about this. I have some latest discoveries. Do you want to listen to them, boss? Don't waste your time every day on so-called heroic activities with Erica and that superpowered woman in the granary. Boss, You are a genius doctor that I admire. Your mission should be to lead mankind to the forefront of evolution. If you weren't my boss, I would have told you a long time ago. Genos adjusted his glasses. If I'm not mistaken, the bald man named Saitama should have broken the shackles that God put on humans. That's the limiter. Chapter 48. Dr. Tao, you are the most powerful, mysterious, and talented scientist I have ever seen. Genos bowed humbly. However, compared to that weird bald guy, you are still in the category of human. Genos waved his 10 fingers, and the display screen began to play the videos taken by various monitors. Most of them were scenes of Liu Dan solving various monsters with one punch. Only a few belonged to Tao Qian. No matter what kind of monster, he seems to be able to solve it with one punch. Genos pointed to 2 adjacent videos and said, You know, many S-class heroes who are famous for their strong bodies can't do this, whether it's the sexy prisoner, Blacklight, or the Vest Sage, or the Metal Bat, the Atomic Warrior, the Silver Fong, even the Trembling Tornado and the Pig God who can't be explained in detail. The process of them solving monsters is either easy or difficult, but there are traces to follow. The sexy prisoner has a good growth ability, but he was just an ordinary strong man at the beginning. Blacklight has a body that he is proud of, but unfortunately, from my observation, he is very afraid of being injury may be a major weakness that can destroy his confidence. The Vest Master has the belief that he will win, and he will become more courageous even after failure. The Atomic Samurai's swordsmanship is superb. It is said that he got his name because he can split atoms with one sword. Mr. Silverfongbang is a member of the ancient martial arts clan. He has incredible chi to regulate himself. It is said that there are many martial artists like him in the whole continent. Metalbat has an ability called momentum. The more injured he is, the more excited he is, and his fighting ability is also will rise. I personally think that this so-called momentum is also a kind of chi. Tornado is a pure superpower, rude and unreasonable. She was hostile to you, boss, but was defeated by you. Flashing Flash, I can vaguely guess that he seems to be from a mysterious ninja village. That village was once the most famous assassination organization on the continent, but later disappeared. But as far as I know, there are still many remaining ninjas who continue to engage in assassination work. Zombie Man, ahem, this should be my work. 6 of the Undead Experiment Test Subject Number 6. He later escaped from the House of Evolution. King. I don't have any record of him taking action, but according to the information of the Hero Association, this hero is unfathomable, possesses the Emperor engine, and should be the kind of hero who uses a strong body or cheat to fight. As for the Pig God and the Police Dog Man, advertisement Genos frowned. I suspect they are also weirdos, but they are just weirdos who can control their emotions and reason and are willing to protect humans. He turned his head and looked at Tao Qian. And you, the boss, are the strongest human I have ever seen. You not only have chi, but also awakened superpowers, and your body is also visibly strong. To be honest, I really don't know how you practice. Tao Qian shrugged and planned to continue to use the spirit bomb to get away with it. You just need to shout every day. Boss. Dr. Genos interrupted him loudly. I'm not a weirdo like Liu Dan. You can't fool me with your lies. Tao Qian. I once exchanged your gene sample with Erica. There's nothing abnormal in the structure. Genos continued. Oh no. My gene sample? When did it happen? What gene sample? Tao Qian grabbed Genos and asked him to explain. That sample. Genos adjusted his glasses, not embarrassed at all. I don't know how you made Erica so devoted. She asked me for the gene copy she had with me, and I asked her to exchange it with your gene sample. As a result, she let the sample stay in her body for a whole week before taking it out and handing it to me. At that time, the sample had lost its activity, but it doesn't matter. I just want to see if you are still human, Doctor. Tao Qian. Damn MMP. You two actually did this behind my back? Fortunately, my abilities are all word effects, and the tadpoles have no abnormalities. Otherwise, wouldn't it be unclear if I jumped into the sea? Advertisement, Doctor. The evolution potion is like a key that opens the treasure house of human wealth. During this period of time, we have mastered a lot of data on the research of monsters. It's time, Doctor. I apply to start the next stage of research, human body experiment. Dr. Genos said with a firm expression. Human body alienation and monsterization are different things. Although there is no difference between the two in the eyes of ordinary people, but scientists can keenly perceive the difference. Alienation is to open up the treasure house of human potential through means including hard work and cultivate stronger humans. Monsterization is a change at the genetic level. According to research, even if animal monsters and human monsters are very different before the change, their mutated genes will converge after becoming monsters. This should also be the fundamental factor that the so-called monster cells can turn people or animals into monsters, because monsters themselves are a brand new mutant species. It's just that the direction of their evolutionary mutation is different, just like the reason why various strange creatures appeared in the history of species evolution on Earth. It's just that this kind of mutation is unstable and unsafe. But the evolution potion you invented, boss, has made up for this to a large extent. Its most significant function is not to make people younger and more beautiful. It's to activate cell activity and achieve greater results when humans practice. Genos stared at Tao Qian with burning eyes, and his voice was full of temptation. Doctor, start recruiting for the experiment. I can't wait to see the new chapter in the history of human evolution. Chapter 49. A piece of news swept the entire Hero Association in a very short time. Have you heard about it? There is such a laboratory, blah blah, that very effective healing potion is produced by them, thanks to the unremitting efforts of the Fubuki group. Even if the top leaders of the Hero Association wanted to block the news at the beginning, they ultimately failed. Even in the other world, the iron law that the poor rely on mutations and the rich rely on technology still applies. Of course, the financial warriors who are supported by financial sponsors are not counted. So once the news came out, countless resumes immediately flooded in at the address of the laboratory. There were even B and C level heroes who rushed to Z City to line up overnight. And the Hero Association has only more than 600 registered heroes in total. Many people know each other, are familiar with each other, and even hostile to each other is also very normal. A group of people get together, and naturally, they start gossiping. Hey, why are the Fubuki group ranked first? They got the news earlier and came earlier. Hey, it's different with S-class heroes. They are just B-class like us, but they are all so arrogant. Say less. If that person hears it, you will suffer. Sharpstar, I heard that you came from the Fubuki group. Do you regret it now? The hero whose name was called had a strange hairstyle. He smiled disdainfully. That kind of organization is just a group of people surrounding a woman. People like us are just urged to work and don't get much credit. As soon as this statement came out, it was immediately recognized by many people. Hey, look, even the unlicensed knight is here, and he hasn't even taken off his bandages yet. Sure, I'll tell you in a low voice. I heard that Dr. Tao admires him very much and specifically asked him to come. Jetman, what is he doing here as a cyborg? I heard that he was cheated, and he ran out of money halfway through the transformation, so he was thrown out. The next day, the organization lost contact. TSK, hundreds of millions of yen, morning suspenders, cross keys, slicked back hair, red scarf fighter, fast puncher. Is this a C-level hero gathering? Who said that? Isn't that the B-level camp? Dark Flame Dragon Swordsman, this arrogant guy is here too? Advertisement. Why does that guy look like Snake? Impossible. He is an A-class hero. What's wrong with an A-class hero? It's just 2 eyes and a nose. I signed up for a martial arts school a few days ago. The coach said that I am a genius that only appears once in a century. Sooner or later, I will be promoted to S-class. Which martial arts school did you go to? The cool Dao school that has become famous recently. I have something to tell you. The master there said that I am also a martial arts genius that only appears once in a century. Look, it's the Commander Mizuki and the Pink Wasp. Damn it, what are these women doing here? Isn't it better to go back and be athletes and models? That's right. The 2 women who caused the argument at this time did not realize that they had become the focus of the crowd. Pink Wasp ranked 25th in B class. Dressed boldly and coolly, the weapon in hand was also similar to the props of gymnasts. Commander Mizuki ranked 71st in B class. Not only does she have a curvy figure, but she also has 8 abdominal muscles that many men don't have, strong thighs and arms. She is an athlete. Hey, why are you here too? Shouldn't you be in the gym at this time? Pink Bumblebee glanced at Mizuki's muscles without showing any emotion and asked with some envy and some disdain. It is said that this company has produced a new drug that can beautify and remove calluses, which is very good for the skin, so I came. But why are there so many people here? Pink Bumblebee quietly rolled her eyes. Oh, what a big-breasted and brainless silly girl. Her head is full of muscles. I heard that she admires the silly big guy Haiguang the most. Just then, at the outermost edge of the crowd, another shining bald head came over. Lu Dan looked at the people in line and asked his follower in confusion, Genos, is there a new supermarket here? Why are there so many people queuing? Genos quickly opened the information board and checked for a while before answering. Advertisement, teacher. This seems to be a laboratory. Recruiting volunteers for drug trials. Recruiting? Lu Dan became excited when he heard it. Do you pay? I think you should. Then let's go to queue up too. Genos. Tao Qian and Erica stood on the roof, quietly looking at the crowd below. These heroes are in high spirits. It's because the master invented a good reputation. Erica pointed to Snake, who was hiding in the crowd. That A-level hero also used a gun to speed up recovery when he was hospitalized for an injury, and he came to the queue after tasting the sweetness. Tao Qian adjusted his glasses. But he looks like he dressed up on purpose. Maybe it's because he's an A-level hero and doesn't want to be discovered and embarrassed. Erica replied nonchalantly. Since you're here, are you still afraid of being embarrassed? At this time, Tao Qian's eyes were sharp and he saw a bright spot at the end of the queue. Why is that boiled egg here too? He's never been here before. Does he think this is a newly opened supermarket? Forget it, Erica. Go and get the gorilla to hide. Let Genos come too. Let him in for the interview. Chapter 50. Interview Waiting Room. Fubuki is putting on makeup. As a partner of the laboratory, although she is not the first to come, she has the privilege of not queuing. While putting on makeup, Fubuki is constantly thinking about the future of herself and the Fubuki team. To surpass her sister Tornado is the ultimate goal of life for Fubuki. But how to surpass? She has never thought about it. In the past, she had hoped that her superpowers would grow stronger than Tornado. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. Later, she established the Fubuki team and tried to rely on the collective strength to attract Tornado's attention. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. During this period, she developed a style of doing things that was against Tornado and everything. Unfortunately, Tornado didn't care. Until she met Tao Qian. This scientist who was sometimes good and sometimes evil in his behavior, and was full of interest in the two sisters. It seemed that he touched the pain point of Tornado being studied in her childhood. Tornado reacted strongly to this. Fubuki never got tired of it. Since she couldn't surpass Tornado in terms of strength, she would have a way to get her attention. But when did it start? Did her dream change from surpassing Tornado to surpassing Tornado and getting Tao Qian to join the Fubuki group? Was it when he rescued her for the first time? Or when she accepted his benefits and finally had the money to buy a luxury car and wear branded clothes? Or when she got that magical potion from him that could temporarily improve her mental strength? Or when she was rescued by him again and saw him defeat her sister with her own eyes? I don't know when it started. Tornado's invincible status in her heart collapsed. She discovered for the first time that Tornado was not actually that strong. As long as she could withstand the burst of superpowers and break her protective psychic shield, Tornado would be an ordinary, stunted girl. Well, strictly speaking, it was true. Tao Qian could do it, so why couldn't she? This was the purpose of her coming in. The previous evolution potion was not as useful as imagined for superpowers. After taking the medicine, the physical practitioner can stimulate cell activity and regeneration speed, strengthen the effect of exercise, make muscles stronger and more flexible. But how do superpowers practice? Even Tornado doesn't know. Therefore, the effect of the medicine on Fubuki is only to temporarily improve her control of the wind, and it can't make her superpower surpass Tornado. But this time is different. As a superpower, I have a hunch that the new medicine is likely to have a permanent effect on the improvement of mental power. Tao Qian's words echoed in Fubuki's ears. It also aroused her ambition again. Although there are many ways to surpass Tornado, leading the Fubuki team to enter the A-level, S-level, and isolating Tornado is one way. Advertisement attracting more advanced S-level combat power to join the Fubuki team and help suppress Tornado is the second way. But how can the above be better than having superpowers that surpass Tornado? For this, Fubuki is willing to pay any price. Any. After all, Tao Qian also fits her aesthetics. It's better than bald people and all kinds of weird people. Time passed slowly. Tadada, with the sound of high heels, the beautiful female secretary opened the door of the lounge. Ms. Fubuki, please come with me for the interview. Erica looked at Fubuki with a calm look, without any emotional fluctuations. She had accepted her fate. As a dependent, she had no right to bargain with Tao Qian. As a secretary, her work ability was not very outstanding. As a researcher, she found herself dejectedly that she might not be as good as the gorilla. What to do? Be good. Tao Qian was interested in Fubuki. No matter what it meant, whether it was scientific research or physiological research, it was her duty to share the master's worries. Get it? She even took the initiative to invite more female heroes. She really put herself in the right position. Fubuki entered the interview room. The only interviewer was Tao Qian. There was a contract on the table. I'll sign it. Before Tao Qian could ask, Fubuki said directly. This made Tao Qian feel very confused. Do you want to see the contract first? No, I believe you. Okay. Actually, there was a problem with the contract. There was a contract inside. He wanted Fubuki to become a dependent. In this way, Tao Qian could help her improve her strength quickly and conveniently, and create a sample case for the laboratory. He had prepared a lot of tempting conditions. He didn't expect that they would not be used. He watched Fubuki sign her name on the document. Tao Qian's dependent column, which had not been touched for a long time, also quietly added a new name. Advertisement. Dependent, 2/3, Fubuki. Disaster level, devil. Possessing entries. Psychokinesis, wind, purple. Attribute enhancement, purple. Hell mist, blue. Psychic flight, white. Psychokinesis, wind, purple. Can control the power of wind. Wind affinity plus 50%. Wind control plus 50%. Attribute enhancement, purple. Temporarily improve the target's overall quality and old injuries, and improve its combat effectiveness. Duration 1H. Hell mist, blue. Control the strong wind force, roll up dust and gravel to attack the enemy, and can easily eliminate monsters below the tiger level. Psychic flight, white. The ability to fly to low altitude using superpowers. The entries can be copied without consuming kill points. SK. These entries are inversely proportional to Fubuki's figure. Quite barren. But it doesn't matter. Tao Qian will take action. He handed Fubuki a potion. Drink it. I made it specially for you. After becoming a dependent, although Fubuki did not have a clear concept, she developed a deeper sense of dependence and trust in the man in front of her. She didn't suspect anything, nor did she ask about the ingredients of the potion. She took it and drank it all. At the same time, Tao Qian directly inserted the relevant entries such as control the power of wind, purple, into Fubuki's entry group. At this moment, Fubuki suddenly felt something. She was filled up. So much information flowed in front of her eyes. She fainted directly. The master is really good to her, Erica said faintly at the door. You want it too? How about turning you into a bug? Tao Qian raised his head and suggested. Erica shuddered. Forget it. I'm fine now. Don't worry. I'll catch a vampire for you later. Tao Qian remembered that the Monster Association seemed to have a real vampire. The entries on the other party were idle, so it was better to give them to her own followers. Really? Erica's eyes lit up. Then some spring waves flowed in her eyes. Master. Tao Qian ignored her. Now is not the time to do things. Take Fubuki to the lounge to rest first, then call the next one. After a while, the door creaked and was pushed open. Unlicensed Knight. Meet Dr. Tao.
Thanks for watching. You can find the next videos in the playlist linked in the info card, directly on my channel, or right here on the screen. And as always, if you have any feedback, feel free to share it in the comments too.